how we have missed you all. This is another episode of your favorite show, the official Capcom Pro Tour pre-show, No Neutral. And of course, I am joined by none other than my partner in crime, my brother, slightly taller than me, but I'm buffer, Brian Neff. Let's go, Brian. What's up, bro?
I might have to dispute some of the stats you mentioned there. Slightly taller, slightly less buff. We'll let the people decide on that one. But it's been a big, not just big weekend for Street Fighter, but a big couple of weeks for Street Fighter. So we're about to get into all of that and break it down for the people to recap what's been going on before leading to a very, very special CPT event for the two of us. We might be slightly biased when talking about this one coming up. But before we get into all that, of course, we have to give a big shout out to all of our supporters in Japan. Thank you so much for tuning into No Neutral before every CPT event. We always appreciate all the support. That said, let's take a look back at the last CPT event. There was a little bit of a break in the schedule, but that doesn't mean we forgot that action that went down in the France, Spain, Portugal CPT, because my goodness, one of the best grand finals that we have ever seen in CPT. And I just feel like this region just always delivers year after year, event after event. But that said, I think the man who he staked his claim as, hey, look at me, I'm the guy to beat in 2020. He kept it up in 2021. 2022, you can't deny it. Mr. Crimson is the France, Spain, Portugal champion once again. And, I want to say dominating, but, he had to work to get that title. That grand final set against Kills You. I mean, that was the way that set closed out leading into the reset. It was just shocking to see. I mean, even the commentators, they were just like, did he mean to do that? Was that an execution error?
Or was that a Brian F?
Oh, was that an accidental win? Oh, man, I'm sure we're going to be showing the footage here, but Mr. Crimson going up against Kills You, it's becoming the staple, the classic in these events. Those were the two qualifiers from the last, the 2021 season.
Was it legitimate or not? You are the expert on this. Now, sometimes someone could do it as an accident and then act like it's on purpose. Was it on purpose?
I was going to say, in the interview, he said it was on purpose, but even before Mr. Crimson came on the mic to set the record straight, I bought it. I believed it.
Yeah, me too. I think it's legit.
I mean, Kills You was reacting to almost every... Karen players, listen, a good Karen player, if you have a fireball move, they are just looking to smoke you with that EX Tenku. So when it came down to that last final moment where they're both like around 15% life left, and she's cooking in the flame there. He had the V-Trigger 1 carpet out, and at that point it was do or die for Kills You. He was going to eat a yoga sniper. When you're in that one-hit situation against Dalsum, you have to kind of swing for the fences, and in that moment Mr. Crimson knew the tension was high, and instead of throwing out EX Fireball to occupy the screen space and set up the 50-50 mix-up, they throw EX Fireball with Dalsum. Once you block it, it's low or sniper. It's guess for game, guess for tournament life right there on the line.
And he can also do teleport mix-up.
Yeah, get in, teleport in, and if you block it, it's, once again, throw, low, or instant overhead, right? So you got to guess for the game. Knowing that would be the situation he would be put in if he didn't interrupt the EX Fireball, Mr. Crimson used his reactions against him and instead did the grounded Gale, which is a super slow but very active fireball move. It doesn't go anywhere, doesn't have any range, it just occupies the screen space in front of him for a long period of time, so that EX Tenko, when it goes through, it runs out of fireball invincibility before it's able to connect and punish Dalsum. And then you saw the flash of yellow, Kills You reacted, and bam, he ate the last active frame, which caused the bracket reset. And from there on out, Mr. Crimson, he was in full control.
Bro, it's kind of wild that, as a Karen player, we're so good that we're too good to win sometimes. And I know that sounds weird, but his reaction was actually perfect and he still lost. But, I still have to be honest, have to be critical, and I need to give praise. That's all part of the job. So, first and foremost, I want to say Kills You. That kid is amazing. Mm-hmm. He is, as my man Stephen A would say, he's box office. I won't say that he's big time and all that yet. Maybe just one more event. But as far as direct, skill goes and the way that he performs in these high pressure situations, I would say that he's far above average. His Karen play is phenomenal. One of the better players that I've seen as far as how he approached that matchup. Now, the reason we had to talk so much about, or you brought up so much of that EX Gale spot where he was baited, is because after that, Kills You crumbled. And it's happened to the best of us. It's not, so that's no disrespect to the young warrior. That's what happened there, because we seen clearly that he was strong enough to win the set. Both of them were strong enough.
3-0 in winners finals to kills you over Crimson. 3-0.
And then even then in the second set in the first set of grand finals, it's last game, last round, going down to the wire, only to get hit with an amazing bait in that clutch situation. Now, after that, he goes on to get beaten 3-0 in the second set. That is unacceptable. That is sloppy. J Black. Disgusting. The unmitigated gall. You don't go out like that. You're too good for that, and I expect better. But Kills, you still played great. But I'll tell you what, Brian, you already know how that is. We just saw, some people are just, when they have that more experience, I think that Kills you, he's so amazing skill-wise, and he's very young. So as soon as, if he was able to go to a combo breaker or CEO coming up or Evo, things like that, give him just one or two of these huge tournaments overseas, and I feel like he is going to be right there with Mr. Crimson. But as far as right now, Mr. Crimson is dominant of that region and possibly dominant when it comes to that continent overall. But I want to make sure that we don't only show love to those two heavy hitters, to the two players who are currently playing the best over there, because they played in grand finals last year and they played in grand finals this year, so you can't really debate it. I want to make sure I shout out TKR and Valmaster.
Yes, sir.
They played ridiculous, and I have to be honest, man. I feel like there's a bit of a bias when it comes to players outside of your own region. I did not expect them to be that
I was trying to tell you, this is the 09 boomers over here. We're the OGs, right? We're like, Valmaster, don't forget about this guy. Don't forget about him. If he puts his mind to it, he can do it, right? And so yeah, you're right. Valmaster came in. He got into the top 8 on loser's side. 3-2 over Kainu, 3-0 over Luffy, 3-0 over your guy TKR, who's having an amazing performance.
3-0.
Yeah, 3-0 over Luffy. That's a big one. So Valmaster got all the way into the 3rd place position, finally taken down by Mr. Crimson.
I feel like Valmaster is so strong, his level is so high, that I don't like to see the way that he lost to Crimson. Not that Crimson isn't stronger, because you have to say he is based off of just history, but that's Chun-Li's worst matchup, character-wise, right?
Right.
It's not, just as far as the way those tools match up, in my opinion, is one of her rougher matchups. A lot of Chun-Li players agree. All the Chun-Li's players agree. I would say all the Dawson players agree. So make it easier on yourself and have a counter pick in that situation. But at the end of the day, he can go to sleep. He can go to sleep comfortably knowing that, did I really lose? You know what I mean? He did lose.
All right.
But did I really lose? I'm just saying.
The matchup ego protection right there. You don't give Chun-Li players any credit like that. I guess you have a little bit too much of a Chun player heart in you. No, but you're right. I think Valmaster, he was the guy who comes in with the most latent skill. He has nothing really left to prove. I feel like, he did his thing in Street Fighter 4. He's just getting back into the swing of things in the final season of Street Fighter 5 here. I think he went out with a bang. I think it was awesome to see someone who repped this region back in the previous game show up and be like, hey, don't forget I'm nice at the thing. But yes, I agree. I feel like maybe if he was competing as heavily for a longer period of time, he might have lost enough to Dalsum to be like, wait a minute, I'm a little tired of this at this point. Yeah, when you come in kind of late in the game like that, I feel like you can just be proud of I still got it, rather than I'm sick of tired of losing to a bad matchup. So it would have been nice to see if he had another pick for that, but he had a great run. He actually went to losers early, but to Luffy, I just checked the bracket, 2-1 to Luffy prior to top 16, ran it all the way through losers to 3rd place, beating Luffy in the run back 3-0. So that is a very impressive run from Valmaster to remind people that he's definitely that guy. And I think there was a lot of representation here. We saw Vega Patch consistently showing up in these top 8s. TKR, another guy we were shouting out, always kind of knocking on that top 8 door, in there doing work. Akainu was the one who, he
that's
didn't
my
really.
boy, man.
Yeah, he had some great performances last CPT, getting I believe a 3rd or a 2nd place finish in both events. Falling to Valmaster in the 3-2 before the top 8. I feel like if he could have gotten over that hump, I would have loved to see more gameplay from him. But yeah, I feel like everybody in this top 8 came to do work. We saw, I think, mostly the favorites. I think this region is starting to kind of solidify.
Yeah,
like these players that you see in this
no...
top 8 are pretty much the people you always see, except for maybe Valmaster's the one who like showed up a little bit more this time. But I think at the end of Street Fighter V in this region this season, you can see that these guys are the ones to look out for in any event, and they have established that they are here consistently. There's no flukes here. It's consistent gameplay, consistent results from these players.
And Brian, as amazing as they are, and shout out to France, Spain, Portugal, and the performance that they put on, the entertainment that they gave us. Something else that's consistent is the level of experience, the camaraderie, the joy, the 24-hour venue, all of those things at Combo Breaker. But that consistency was interrupted, of course, by unforeseen circumstances over the last couple of years. But finally, as people would say in my hood, we outside. So what I want to talk about is the games, is the experience that we had with Street Fighter V at Combo Breaker. Man, where do we start? I guess we can start at the top, bro.
Yeah, you mentioned consistency. I thought the first thing I thought was you're going to segue into the champ.
The champ.
Because my point I want to bring up about this is that this is the most consistent player in the Western Hemisphere, bar none. Now, I can't say the world because we haven't been able to see that level of competition or that, international level competition consistently, right? But I would still have my money on this man against the world.
I think in the world, yeah.
Idom is the man to beat in the Western Hemisphere. He is so consistent, event after event. It doesn't matter if it's a 5-man local. It doesn't matter if it's a 500-man major like Combo Breaker 2022. Idom is the Combo Breaker 2022 Street Fighter V champion, and it was looking free for a while until finally we saw someone step up to the plate. It feels like it's been a while since we've seen Idom sweat, and not only sweat, show emotion. Idom was emotional after this win.
Yeah, I was actually very surprised to see that. I think that the last time I might have seen him showing that level of emotion might have been
Capcom Cup.
Yeah,
he had to win Capcom Cup 2019 to show a pop off. This time
he got up and hyped the crowd up at Combo Breaker and everything. I'm he
was like, show me my props. Yeah,
one of his braids loosened up and started glowing yellow and everything, like
just a hint of it, and then it came back together. It tied down,
Yeah, he almost let
what's to come.
More of his, bro. So, but even as amazing as Idom is, and the most consistent player, as you said, that we have in the Western Hemisphere, I want to make sure that we also talk about my guy Cabba. I mean, bro, Cabba, he pushed Idom to the limit. We seen him have a great set with. Well, actually, I think he smoked Chris CCH. Actually, I don't remember.
He beat Chris CCH. So Cabba was in losers in top 8 to Mono 3-0. So winners semis, he was sent to losers by Mono, and then in that loser side, West Coast. We'll talk more about that later, but we got to give him props for the bracket. West Coast showed up into the top 8. Filipino man made top 8. Chris CCH was in there doing work as well. But Cabba in loser side came in clutch here, took him over Chris CCH 3-0, and then he got the run back against Mono 3-0 as well. So after Mono beat Cabba 3-0, he was just cooking in that bracket until he got to Idom. And finally, we had a set and a player who was going to push Idom to his limits. And when I looked at this bracket, I thought the man to do it would be Cabba, because the one character matchup...
we haven't really seen it. And Guile does.
The character matchup. Good Guile is the one thing that makes Idom really kind of sweat a little bit. And did we have a set? Oh my goodness.
That was so godlike.
Defense, the reads, and the number of times Cabba was out of a game and then banked it on the wake up EX flash kick to run it all the way back to get that reset in the first set was ridiculous. Like, he was in such helpless position so many times, and he's like, I'm gonna let it rip. If you block confidence. It's over. If this hits, I might still be in this. And he was still in it to run into that reset 3-2. And then the grand finals final set 3-2 as well. That last round, you could see like the jitters on both players, and that's what I like to see. Idom making him look human is such a beautiful moment because he's so clean and robotic with his gameplay.
Robot. Yeah.
Right. But Cabba made him sweat. It was such a set.
So there's just two more things I want to make sure I bring up with Combo Breaker Street Fighter V. For one, Mena is looked at as the leader of the Dominican Republic, and he is the leader there. I'm sure everyone there would agree in that FGC, at least for Street Fighter. But even though Mena, who also made top 8, was eliminated earlier than Cabba, we know historically, that's Cabba, but with a whole lot more loudness and energy, the type of energy that has my voice sounding raspy right now after last weekend at Combo Breaker. But when Mena being out, he could easily have been the guy that is somewhere salty, that's, you know, only wants to shine himself. But no, he was over there wilding out just as much as Cabba does for him. There was moments, I saw a picture of him literally dropped to his knees because of something that happened in that match. And you would think that it was his own match, but that's how it is when you have brotherhood. That's how it is when you have regional pride. And, you know, so I just have to commend him. And the last thing that I do want to bring up is kind of unavoidable because, you know, we're players too, so we got to bring up our own stuff too. I really believe that the most hype set of Combo Breaker, period, was in top 16. It was myself, Rob TV, going up against Mena. That's not even me trying to troll and do my cocky stuff, bro. Like, if you watch that, man, we were talking all kind of trash. Like, it just felt like offline. Like, this is what we've been. I'm telling you, like, it feels so different actually having the person you're playing right there next to you. You know, like, Brian, I know you can attest to that. The crowd got into it a whole lot. So as soon as we go up on stage, he already knows what time it is, right? So he's like, oh my God, you're going to try to pop off on me if you win. I said, you already know what time it is, pretty much. You know what I mean? So the stakes are already, the hammer has been thrown down beforehand. The first game finishes. Mena, you talk about Cabba going for those EXDPs in clutch situations. To be great, you got to take risks. Mena goes and does a heavy flash knuckle. We play Luke versus Kieran. He goes for the heavy flash knuckle. I'm ahead in the last round. On block -2, he goes right to the critical art. I block it. He looks like a fool in front of the world. That was
the most Mena CA I've ever seen. I've seen the knuckle, the -2 to EXDP, but the -2 to the CA, which makes sense. It was do or die.
Why not?
If the CA hit, it would win. But man, just to even pull that out in tournament, to like risk looking, because you know if it lands or godlike, but if it misses. Like, how do you recover? And
that's what I told him. We had the mask on so you couldn't see my lips moving, but that's what I told him. Like, look, you look like a fool now. You the Capcom Cup champion, and you putting on that type of performance in front of these people. Tighten up. But when I told him to tighten up, he tightened up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie. He goes ahead. He wins the second game, and what does he do? Does he decide to be humble? No, he doesn't. Someone get this guy off the tour. I don't even know why we allow this type of energy on stream. Big Hollywood would never. He starts talking my ear off, extremely rude. I couldn't believe it. I was mortified. So we go into the last game finally. I win the first round and I'm talking trash to him. He goes and brings it back. And it's finally last game, last round. I go for 2 wake up EXDPs, Brian. 2 of them.
I saw.
He blocked both. You saw that. Last game, last round. He blocks both of my EXDPs. And I die. So, in the end of the day, what that means is that Mena RD is a great player and a coward because he blocked both of those times instead of going for a meeting.
Yeah, you should have ate that CA too. You're looking kind of scared, Rob. I don't know what's going on. I walk straight into every wake up CA. You know what I'm saying? No fear.
But yeah, Combo Breaker was amazing, bro. Combo Breaker was sick. And of course, Combo Breaker is held in a special region that is near and dear to our hearts, Brian, and that is none other than what we are about to see. The top 16 for CPT Midwest is upon us. Brian, I don't know, bro. I just been talking. I'll let you take it away for now.
It's always a little strange doing this pre-show for the event we're in because I guess by now you might be able to understand we're not putting our sticks down and recording this show right now. I mean, cat's out of the bag for that one. So we're trying to make some calls here for something that we got a lot of stake in. So of course, you know, last time you took all the events, you know what I'm saying, but things might be different this time. We only got one shot. We only got one shot. Things have changed. Some people have mixed up their picks, mixed up their strategy, and honestly, some players are rising to the occasion right now. So I don't know if we can necessarily call how this is going to shake up because I think this region runs deep. more than people realize.
Yes.
The stories that are told, not even in the top 16, not even on streams, in the pools matches, the level of play that is in this region, people don't necessarily understand how close it is. You know, like even my own run, like there was moments in those pools matches where there are players. It's always by pixel. It's by just a couple of hits here and there.
My first match last year in the first CPT was Toy, and then I had to fight Ramsey just to make it out of pools. You know what I mean? Like there's that level
there's moments
play
where it's a coin flip
pools.
away, it's a decision away from, you know, having an undefeated CPT run and going to losers early, right? Like those moments exist in this region, in this level of play. And I think there's a lot of players that are hungry to you know, instead of you know, being on the wrong side of that coin flip, it might be their time to win this time, get onto the stream matches and make sure that people know the level of play that they bring to the table. And that said, I think we have a lot of people now who are looking at certain players differently.
Yes. I mean, right now, of course, we'll get into it even more tomorrow before top 8, but look at Just a Kid, man. I mean, he's coming into this thing on fire. And if anything, that's probably an understatement. I feel like he just raised up his profile to a whole new level, even though a lot of people already knew him. It's not about that. It's more so the level of respect that's put on his name and his gameplay. And outside of how everyone else views you, how you view yourself. There's one thing to be confident irrationally, right? Just force it or something like that. Or, you know, being confident without any type of reason is what we call being stupid. All right. Now with Just a Kid, he's already had plenty of reason to be confident. He performed well in the last 2 CPTs, although he has not made grand finals yet. That's been a spot reserved for you and myself. But he was right there, 3rd place finish, 4th place finish, only behind Dual Kevin there. So I feel like right now, Just a Kid's confidence is at a whole new point, and some of his opponents might be a bit scared too. Their heartbeat might sound like Sasquatch feet. So I'm definitely interested to see how he does when it comes to this bracket. But he's not the only one. Look at my guy Joey. We already know about his Mika, one of the best Mikas in the world. In my opinion, the best Mika in America.
All of Texas, all of Ontario, like it's not just the Midwest, what people would, you know, refer to as the region. In America, right? We have Texas in the bracket, we have Northern Canada, Central Canada,
Alabama.
And there's people like, you know, like you mentioned, Mags. I'm scared of that run to that birdie. You know, that was another set that I had. You know, I got him last time we ran into each other. The score said 2-0, but really it was about, you know, if you looked at the health points, it was like 200 to 198. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those sets where, man, he terrifies me every time we run into each other in bracket. We have Safe, who's been working on some new strategies since the adjustments have come in, especially to his favorite Urian.
Is he still a Urian?
He was rocking some Alex recently, so he is in the bracket. But we'll see what he goes with come game day, right? So I'm interested to see what he brings to the table, because you know when he was rocking Urian.
I'm interested to see what you bring to the table, Brian.
You gotta bring it up.
I'm interested to see what you bring to the table, Brian. Let's get to it. We dancing around,
even I am.
Skipping and jumping. He said, "Even you are." Look, I know
we'll
you
see
not.
on the day.
I don't think you busting out that ball rock against me no more. I feel like you've lost all hope in that matchup at this point, and you feel like you might as well at least try to Tengu Stone me out. That's what I think. But in that season final, you tried that and it didn't go well for you. So I don't know.
Things have changed.
Have they? I think you're going.
Capcom has made some adjustments. And I've made some adjustments, all right? But one thing that didn't change was Tengu Stones. So so to have that as the solid rock beneath it, we'll see how it goes. But
we're playing casuals at Combo Breaker. Bro, that combo you hit me with was like 55. I remember specifically because it was 55 hits.
Right.
I'm like,
I had to flex it a little bit. Strategy-wise, it was actually the worst combo ever to do since it did no damage after using every meter. But, you know, I had to let you know, like, hey, you know, come game day.
Yeah.
Do you want to lose that 55 hit combo or not?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm definitely interested in seeing what you bring, what new strategies you bring and everything. And of course, I am expecting to continue my reign of terror over this amazing and beautiful region that I love. But I won't be I was gonna say something nice at the end, but no, I'm about to smoke y'all, bro. I was about to say something nice. Nah,
we'll see. Hopefully, we're in this
see.
top 16 that we're talking so much trash about right now.
Bro, that would be so awkward, actually. Like,
it'll make good
like,
entertainment for the Twitch chat. So either way, it'll be entertaining for the people.
And speaking of entertainment for the people, what is more entertaining than the Capcom Pro Tour? What's more entertaining than taking someone's hopes and dreams and sending them right down the loser's bracket, or even better, out of the tournament? If you want to see what that feels like, then you can go over to CapcomProTour.com today to register for upcoming events.
Wow, Rob, you got me fired up there to register again. If I wasn't already in this CPT going on right now, I'd be signing up right away. But that said, we have the top 16 for one of the most electrifying regions in the Capcom Pro Tour. One near and dear to me and Rob's heart. You know, we have a lot of stake, a lot of pride in this region, as some people might know by now.
That some people may have felt the wrath of.
They may have felt it. They may have learned firsthand how we do here in the Midwest. That said, ladies and gentlemen, we have coming up now the top 16 of the Capcom Pro Tour NA Midwest.
Yes, sir!
Welcome everybody to the Midwest. I'm sorry, the Mid-Best CPT Top 16 people. We are deep dish delish in this bracket, and boy, oh boy, is it a bracket. We've got something special for you on the menu, but before we get to the fisticuffs, let's run them introductions, baby. My name is Seikola, and I am joined with the voice of not only Street Fighter V, but Street Fighter VI himself, Vicious.
I literally talked to him. I was like, do you want me to bring the intro in? And he cut me off to hit me with that. First and foremost, it's all love. Welcome to SoCal, but it's time for the Midwest All-Stars to really show out their strength. This is something I've been looking forward to because we've seen some of the runs from a lot of the players. They've been streaming their runs throughout the entirety of the Capcom Pro Tour for North America Midwest. And I gotta say, it's been pretty shaky. A lot of these names you're very familiar with. You've seen them time and time again. You've seen them take down West Coast. Fact of the matter is, it's a little bit of a change up here in top 16. In fact, let's take a look at that bracket and see how things have shaken up from this morning, aka from SoCal time, by the way. Boom, there you go, and no pun intended. Boomi is actually going up against Senchu. Sabo versus Rocky. Kaiser versus Toplin. Stack Bradford versus El Chicote. When we break this down little by little, we get to show off what characters they use, what their runs were like as well as their location, because we got to specify where in the Midwest a lot of these cats are from. But let's take a look. Again, these guys have been going through the ringer all day. What can you tell me about what we see here in the winners?
I'm going to tell you something different. All right, let's take a quick look at right here. We have Boomi that had taken down Rob TV with the quickness to go up against Senchu. Sabo, who had taken down Just the Kid in the losers.
Yes.
That was wild. Rocky showing out here, obviously top spots of NLBC, but with the Ken Pig. And seeing Stack Bradford get this, I feel like, redemption that he has needed from these offline tournaments, online staying fine. In the winner side of things, go up against El Chicote, it'll be super good play. But let's go down to the loser side of things in this bracket. Boy, oh boy, Rob TV caught 4K today in the loser side, going up against that bit for a run back like that in the CPT we can see previously in the previous year. And then Just a Kid as well in the loser side, going up against Lizardman. Marv, a Karen player, going up against Orange Man. And then last but not least, Joe Rogan going up against Dells on Fire. This is not what I expected, and I know y'all didn't expect it at all. Who's missing? Someone's missing, right?
I believe it starts with a B and ends with an F.
Yeah, it does. That's Brian F, unfortunately.
That was actually kind of wild. I was watching his run as well, and there was another bane in his existence towards the CPT run. He fell to a Luke player yet again.
It's true. And that Luke player, Kaiser up at the top, and then fell to Marv in the loser side, taking him out of the top 16 spot. This rounds out your bracket, and again, I did not expect this. As you were talking about before, watching the players on their streams and watching them go through, seeing Just a Kid fall to Sabo, who was played ridiculous, avoiding a lot of those fantastically broken normals that she got. He definitely had a game plan, solidifying his winner spot, and also to El Chicote just being up this winner spot once again is seeing two Mikas and just. In general, we're seeing a lot of variety, not only with just the Mikas. We're seeing some Zekus out here. Two Zekus, actually.
Two Zekus, to be specific. Yeah, we have two Mikas as well. We do have potentially two Akuras and two Karens at the same time because of the fact that we have characters that are both suitable for those two characters, like Karen and Akira. You see that from Senchu, Karen and Akira coming in from Marv. But for the most part, a lot of you guys have been very engaging in the chat. We actually want to kind of show that off a little bit. We do have a couple of you to kind of incentivize a little bit of chatter from the chat. In fact, let's take a look at what you guys had to say going into the Midwest best battles going on. Okay, I lied to you all. Production was like, you know what? Scrap that. I wasn't ready for it. They wanted to see if I was able to throw it down. That's all it was.
But we saw the I saw you said Midwest got no slackers. You're definitely right. And I feel like some of that came from that 5v5, that heat, that passion, that flame, when people were like, yo, I want to be on that team. Why wasn't my name on there? And then also, it's also...
Oh, we got to talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later.
But also, I think it's also like, yo, seeing these competitors that are in my scene do work just gives you that heat again. Like, dang, I want to play. I want to be up there too. I want to be on that main stage sort of thing. Even though they weren't in that top 8 spot of Combo Breaker, they were able to do a lot of work in the 5v5. And I think when you light that flame, other players come back with that same sort of heat, and that's why we see a different sort of bracket.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been that kind of influence towards a lot of the Midwest players. Not even those who just have been watching that exhibition, but there's others. We talked about it, like Stack Bradford. He had a little bit of a rough shot in his bracket during Combo Breaker, but he's coming out in full force. I was watching his run on his stream, and he was playing like a whole different person, a whole different Akuma that we haven't seen. And then we see cats like Joe Rogan, who actually had a rough shot with Luke as well in his Combo Breaker run, but went all Akuma in the times that he was losing. I'm telling you, man, a lot of these cats have really started to pick it up, as they should, because that's the final year, right? This is your one shot to make it into the Capcom Cup this year. But enough babble. Let's talk about what's to come in our first match. Boomi versus Senchu. Boomi hailing from Alabama, Senchu from Lexington. It's going to be Zeku versus potentially Akira, right? We talked about it, teased it a little bit. Senchu might have a carrot up his sleeve, but I do not doubt the Akira pick for this matchup specifically. I don't think she plays it poorly at all. I think she does a pretty great job in this match.
Yeah. One thing I want to point out we'll probably be seeing in this match is the EX Fireball Air Edition. It's hard for Zeku to stop it. You can't just V-trigger to it, get out of the air, things like that. So he's going to have a difficult time with that. However, I do think that Zeku is about 5-5 with it. You know, Old does a fantastic job of swatting out of the skies. And also, Boomi in general is a really good player. He's been a fantastic player. He's done work in the Battle for the Bruce Lee. He's done work in the online
Shout
local.
out to Jan, by the way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Boomi also had a very close match with Punk at Combo Breaker. So someone like that, you know, it's not surprising for me to see them in the top 16, even with a lot of stat killers out here, you know. Same with Senchu, who also has been hitting top 8s every so often in LBC as well. So it's not like they're lacking and slacking. People, this is the first match of the day. CPT Midwest top 16. Let's get it.
And this is something I do like to highlight, right? You talk about the matchup. Old Zeku definitely has that kind of favorable position in neutral. You're able to kind of keep Akira away for a pretty long time. But young Zeku, I think Akira can play that pretty well. Damn, that was actually a very sly crouching medium punch to start things off. And these guys are slugging back and forth already in the Ring of Power. You can see it, the Street Fighter Duel stage in full effect. We got the banners already ready for that action, and we're going to see it again. Or actually, maybe not as much from mid-screen because Boomi's in full control now in young Zeku form.
Yeah, this is when you want to put the pressure on, but here we go, the activation. This has been buffed this season, and for good reason. Allows more better activations and a lot more damage on the deck. Side switch. Puts him in the corner.
Yes, sir.
Take back a turn. No. Boomi in the corner. Yeah, he knew it was coming. The activation with the V-Trigger 1. We talked about that. V-Trigger 2 would be useless.
Yeah, you have to spend it. That is a very expensive date, but you know what? It's absolutely worth it. This is the duel you wanted to see. Boomi already with a very aggressive start from Old Zeku, by the way, and then forcing to spend it. I gotta say, that's pretty relentless pressure from Senchu as well. Like, he actually had the momentum going against Boomi to force that from him. He's like, all right, well, I can't afford to come back against Senchu. He's at full critical art. If he ends up spending it, I'm going to look like a dummy.
Yeah, and usually you don't typically see Zeku players spin that bar for the super, but Boomi forced to do so. Gets his first win. Puts that bar back in round 2 or 3 if need be, but there's a random slide where it actually works out. Catching Senchu walking back like that. Okay, yeah. We punish those. EX Palm.
I like that, Calling up the assist from the V-Skill 2. No, there's the V reversal. I was going to say, you do not get free pressure after that, so long as Boomi has a V gauge on deck, or a V bar on deck.
Senchu trying to walk into the corner. Careful that.
Oh, he tried to cross-cut it. You saw him buffer.
It's difficult because that's a slower DP with the heavy edition, so you got to be careful with it. And now, the corner carry. Things is getting scary. The pick up. The Barnum & Bailey's.
And I like that. That's so smart, too, for Boomi to not even try to go for anything else. Oh, but Senchu, I gotta say, spending that bar, getting that little extra damage just in case, and still gets a follow-up afterwards, taking the corner. No problem. All tied up. Damn, swinging already. And I love the differential of meter right now. Boomi also can command the pace so well. He can either get a confirm and a critical art, or he can spend it a lot on the ground.
He also, going to young and get those EX dashes and things like that to catch Senchu lacking a little bit. Anti-air right there, keeps it meaty. Yeah, okay, he pressed the button right there, force Boomi for the V reversal, and then side switch. He doesn't get the combo.
He dropped it, unfortunate. And that's exactly what we were talking about, right? Being able to use that meter to kind of command the pace off of Grecian flips, the side switches as well. This is going to hit, yeah, more than enough. Boomi getting that nice and easy confirm off of the stand, heavy punch, target combo. You have a lot of time to cancel into the second one and confirm it. So I got to say, that meter differential was, I think, what was the biggest outlier for round number 3, right? Being able to start things off so aggressively was pretty good.
You compare the damage between Akira and how she has damage, but she really pumps it out in bar compared to how much that Zeku does. It's not really about damage for Zeku. On the other hand, it's about stun. These sequences that if Boomi could get going and flowing are really dangerous. And plus, this season you can stand switch a lot easier. But right now, the switch of positions right here from Senchu with the cross up.
And going into the Tatsu as well. Going for the roundhouse Tatsus actually to get more of an Oki.
So it's time for Street Fighter V immediately with the young. Soup off the feet. Gotta be careful about that.
Didn't have time for any sort of meaty. I like this from Senchu. Pretty aggressive, but loses his turn after the fireball. Boomi now, again, using the rest of that V-trigger. Oh, big time buffer, and he still managed to get. Oh, you're actually dead.
The wait and bait. EX palm what we got. Back take, you want to go for a setup? No, it's going to go for the damage. Going to cancel. But here's Senchu with his activation. Wow, what a challenge for Boomi.
Just on the other side, too. Manages to get the throwaway, but no, actually was not in time. Here comes that huge trigger.
Tech. Yeah, there's the area right there. Catch him off the wall. Make it fall. And Senchu doesn't finish up. Wait. It's a little bit left.
He's not going to go for the overhead. He can't. No shot. Oh! And that's so smart. That was actually the smartest thing you could do. Senchu 100% baited the sweep into V-trigger possibility from Boomi.
EX with the round start puts the elbows on him.
Why not? It's like EX tackle from Durian, right? You're not going to be punishable.
Yeah, especially when he's got V-trigger. Another way to activate something. Senchu, tuck it in the corner, which is possible.
Bam. To set things up, but then the throw. Yeah, he tried to go into Young Zeku, but still the V-break comes in. Senchu is now going to be pushing Boomi towards his corner. It's going to be really tough for Boomi in Young Zeku mode, I feel like, to get out.
I'm liking the whip punch more of these lingering normals that we see in the four fierce and things like that. Even the fierce, but does put the beast Osanto in the palm. No run, no Oki. Using that V-bar. Supposed to get the V-bar built up with the animals.
Animal Kingdom.
Ooh. Blue Planet.
That's too... it's too close to cover. That angle was way too sharp.
That's a red health bar.
Blue Planet, red health bar? Where is this taking place? On Red Earth.
On Red Earth. On Red Earth. Set point. Boomi.
Nothing really do about that. Maybe fireball, but EX uppercut, get off of me. Boomi getting with the kicks again. Using that meter very well to reestablish his pace, but as Young Zeku, there's not a lot really that Senchu is like overcommitting to. He's not getting caught by anything from Young Zeku, so he's been chilling. I think Old Zeku is definitely the play as Boomi for this matchup specifically, as you mentioned earlier.
100%, and it's one of those parts where a lot of Zeku players don't have that locked down. The Young is the way to get it done. He wakes up with violence, gets the counter hit, techie side switch, double combo, but look at that, the reward puts him in the corner. Activation.
Option target combo, back throw. This is going to be so imperative now for Senchu. Nope, V-shift free. No fireball speed. You can't do that for free. No, sir. You are not allowed to activate, or excuse me, switch over for free.
Senchu has him in the corner. Wants to make a decision. He has ult. Actually just shoots the jump out, and Senchu allows it. The opening. Backs away from the EX of play.
That was actually so sneaky. Yo, Senchu actually could have got across if it was a little bit deeper, but no, Boomi. One throw away, and
then he'll do it.
He already knew it. He delayed it so specifically to get that throw to make Senchu think it was going to be a low normal. Either way, man, that was such a dire situation. Nice work from Boomi.
It is so good to see Zeku players, you know, because he's an investment character. You're putting a lot of work into a character that has two forms, but this is the return. A character that can basically 5-5 at least the majority of the matchups, if not more. And you see the variety of toolkits to get the job done. Boomi taking out Senchu in the first match of the day with the Zeku play 2-0.
Yeah, but it's not going to be the last we see of Senchu, right? Again, this is top 16, 2 out of 3. We're still trying to figure out who's in the top 8. Take a look at the replay. A lot of the work, you see a lot of the damage coming in from Young Zeku. That's pretty much the play. But I think for the most part, majority of the game, his old Zeku is the one that pretty much is highlighted for this set. I think it did the most work.
Absolutely. Not like Senchu didn't have some good sequences and things like that, but again, the bar usage being better, spent on the side of Boomi. I would like to see more of that damage going and flowing, but man, just sequences like this, like, check that stun, that's so ridiculous, and that's pre-nerf. But see, like, good things like here from Senchu, fantastic punches on the whip fierce. If they were just more consistent with it, we might have been seeing a one-to-one situation.
I know we see a lot of Young Zeku on the screen, but that's from both ends, right? Offensively and defensively. Like, he got blown up defensively as Young Zeku, but as old Zeku, man, I'm saying it, then he's getting blown up as old Zeku right now. But I gotta say, man, if you look at how the momentum was shifted from Boomi as old Zeku on, like, defense, and then he gets that transformation, it's been a whole different, like, benefactor for him, being able to stop the advances of Akira in that old form. You can see it, 2-0, right against Senchu, and I'm not too surprised the way that they've been playing. Again, it still doesn't tell the full tale. Like, numbers don't ever tell the full game, right?
Of course.
It was actually mad close. So moving on into Sabo versus Rocky. Sabo actually hailing from New York now in the Midwest. Rocky from Alabama. It's going to be Armika versus Ken.
Okay, so Sabo, once again, the one that took down Just a Kid and put him into losers. And Rocky, the one that put Lizardman into losers as well. Just to give a little bit of history.
Insane, by the way.
Oh my God, that match was so good. Yo, Sabo playing out of his mind. And maybe that part of that is because they play each other quite a bit. They're homies. So that might have came through, but Sabo just playing ridiculous. I want to give a little bit of lore of Rocky. You know, was a training partner for Rob TV. and has been making some top spots as well as in LBC. The online local really showing up with the Ken play, and one of the more patient Kens, explosive when need be, right? And I think that's the way you got to play with Ken, is really patient with the whip punish style. Kind of reminds me of the Chris T, but he's got his own flavor.
I love that, actually. You rarely get to see. I mean, if you're coming from CFN in general, you rarely get to see.
You ain't gonna see it.
You rarely see that term patient Ken.
Yeah.
So that off the bat is already like a gleam in my eye. I'm like, what did you just say?
What did you say?
Chris T version
with punish.
I like that. I like it a lot. So I'm really excited to see it. But Sabo, again, he's been on a hot streak. We've seen a lot of runs pretty much get stopped because of this man. That Armika is still in full force. When we saw it at Combo Breaker, the first time that I got to see the buffs, the invisible wall coming back near mid-screen, I'm like, oh man, that hurts. It hurts a little bit. I was kind of. No, I love it. Like, I'm not gonna get hit by it ever again.
Right.
But I'm gonna see other people get hit by it, and I love it from as a spectator point of view. But Rocky, again, going in with Ken. We've seen a lot of Kens come out the woodwork a lot more this season. Actually, even the patch prior, Ken got some really significant stuff. So we're gonna see how this plays out. Rocky versus Sabo, Ken versus Armika.
Man, definitely look like a Demon King with that look. Look at the glare that he is giving y'all right now. That's Demon King Sabo right there. But Rocky, no stranger to the danger. In a matchup like this, I think Ken does fantastic. You know, any projectile is going to be a pain point for Mika just in general. She does have the ability to cut through with the armor with the EX Peach, but that's committal with it. And Rocky, I've seen him zone. He's really fantastic with keeping people at a certain pace and place. And just that Ken has the ability to just, as last season, even more so now, put the pressure on you, put you in the corner, and make you guess. We'll see who's going to win in this match. But Sabo, once again, playing out of his mind. The way he defeated Just a Kid was was clinical.
I want to see like what happens in phase one, right? You're talking about the neutral right off the gate. I think for the most part, Armika is going to have a hard time against fireballs. Like Ken doesn't have the best fireball, but at the same time, it still exists. So you're thinking about how Armika is going to get around that phase of the game first, right? If you're talking about a patient Ken, Rocky's looking to feel out Sabo, how he wants to play out. So best believe he's going to at least test out the neutral with that fireball game. You can't really drop kick over it. You can't dash your way through. You can't Luffy with it. You can't double dash through. So I'm really curious to see how Sabo is going to approach this matchup just from the beginning, because we all know what happens with either character once they get started in the corner.
Oh yeah.
Once the Oki just gets started, it's just you have to guess correctly a good amount of times for Mika at least. But for Ken, there's a lot of situations where he can leave himself plus, like crouching medium punch to be the starter of everything, and what he can do delayed frame trap lion tamer or target combo into whatever he wants. So it's going to be very interesting to say. I know it's not lion tamer, but that's just
it's close to mine. Yeah.
It's always what sticks out to me.
I mean, you have to tame the beast at the side.
I like calling it lion tamer.
Yeah.
I know that's not the name of the target combo.
That sounds sick. Capcom changed that. Let's get in a match like that. Rocky versus Sabo, and again, the projectiles, so patient with it. You can do that before she's got the bar, but you still have to watch out for the crouching mini kick. That's new this season. It has a special cancelable property, so that's going to be more the footsie play.
Thank God.
From Sabo. Oh my gosh, she needed it. She didn't need that. I hate saying that, but she definitely needed some sort of way for the, because it's not so good.
And it's so far too, yo. It's such a good normal. Mika is definitely a different beast. We talked about the fireball game, right? Being able to push out. Yes, sir. That jump is not going to be enough. And we talked about the crouch medium starter, right? Exactly the two factors that we're going to see from Ken. Establishing the pace already pretty well, right? Getting those plus frame layers going, getting the frame traps, and those mix-ups. But speaking of mixes, with the Brimstone, you're actually going to be hitting hella damage.
Well, the Vishko on the deck. Actually, it's going to get that corner carry.
So
and then pop it.
Here's
a back throw!
No Lady Mika.
Here it is. B reversal.
Yeah, plus frames afterwards. What are you going to do about that? Oh,
false up fireball.
What are you going to do about that? Actually, no. I mean, that was blocked. So, I mean, it was tough to contest afterwards.
Sabo does have bars, so the fireballs have to be a little bit careful. I like that Sobato every so often, like in that range, will stop the fireball before it even comes out. But the EXDP Rocky lets it go for free.
That's two already. One hit, one miss. Sabo unfazed by it. Another peach. Watch out for that. Three. That's what I like to see. 2 out of 3, and the delayed crouching medium punch counter, and he's already on top of Sabo's timing. I like that. Just crouching jab, changing it up on wake up. I like that a lot.
I see some commitment though. He's a DP though again from Rocky, bleeding. Sabo's bleeding, but here we go. I love that. Lock him down. So what happened last time? Side switch with it too. Had the command grab.
That's not bad for Rocky though. Although he's at a life deficit, very slight deficit at that. He still gets to control so much, and the juggle. That back throw would have killed.
The double dash! EX connects Sabo! What a demon!
We talked about that too. We literally talked about Mika not being able to double dash, but when you have intimidated your opponent so much to not throw any fireballs or any normals to stop the advance, that is the perfect time to be very, very ambiguous with your approach.
Sabo's definitely been layering on the normals early with it, so that just allows him to come through with the EX, the dash up, EX command grab, I should say. Rocky now puts him in the corner.
Yes.
Nice. And that distance for no back throw. There's a line tamer. I'm calling it that. It just sounds better.
Oh, you still managed to throw. Did he grab his grab?
I'm not sure.
I thought I saw starter frames of the grab. The side switch, but still remains on this. It was a double side switch, but the uppercut is still there from Rocky. Now you're looking at chip territory potentially. No. Okay. The V reversal is there for Sabo. Unless you do it raw. There is a chance to get it raw. Oh, boy.
Oh, don't let that DP in the super be the reason you just lost if you didn't go into the super. EX DP for the win. That could have got him smoke fishes.
You could have died.
You could have died. Yo, I'm sitting here talking about, my man is patient with it, calm, cool, collected.
You lied to me,
I'm sorry.
You hella lied to me.
I mean, he's calm, cool, collected early, but then it's later in the day, he said, I'm coming different.
So I will say, I will 100% say you were right when it comes to Ken not knocked down.
Yeah.
Absolutely patient, for sure. But once he's knocked down, he's another Ken player.
Yeah.
He is another Ken player, right? You can't lie to me. 3 out of 4 EX uppercuts hitting, and how many times did he do that on Waker?
Quite a bit.
Quite a bit.
Quite a bit.
We're going to have to see that number later. Back throw now. Sabo was in a little bit of danger. Man, it's kind of tough. Back throw into the corner. He actually can't do it again. Ooh, I like the interruption from Sabo.
I like the side switch.
Rainbow swing.
Ooh, I'm going to catch a medium punch too far out in the distance, and Rocky backing off a bit. The DP.
Damn, that was far.
Such a long range in that distance too.
I love the horizontal change to the DP.
Another one.
Baby. Rocky, as rough as ever. That uppercut making waves against Sabo's approach numerous times. The drop kick gets punished. The jump-ins get punished. What are you supposed to do against a patient Ken player?
And he's doing it at a distance where he can check those dashes. He's like, never me, not again. No double dash, EX, command grab gonna have to be once again. And Rocky on set point. Again at that distance, but here we go.
Yeah,
Sabo with the drop kick.
Excellent time to attack. The one time he didn't go for the EX uppercut, and you know what? That's just fine. What's funny is, if you went for EX, it would have hit it. Oh.
The reversal this time.
And that's totally fine. No anticipation for the anti-air. Sabo actually got caught dribbling a little bit. I couldn't tell.
Strange.
The approach. No, he tried to go for something sneaky instead of the confirm from the lights. He didn't want to spin that bar. He wanted to at least get a side switch. I get that. But Rocky now in full control. I lied to you. Does it again, but still, Nadeshko, there's the confirm. The damage. A little hefty. Could have been a little bigger. Trying to sneak in a dash again, but Rocky with the interruption.
I like this. Now these dashes go for free. Here the projectiles once again. At that distance where EXP is going to reach the double dash up the throw. Again.
A lot of footwork here from Rocky. Oh, and he's waiting forever.
You see how long he waited? EXP, we stayed up to Maul.
He stayed in front of his face forever. I felt like time slowed down. I felt the frames. I felt the frames pass by. It was so insane. Rocky, you are actually kidding me with that last sequence. That was pretty goated.
That was pretty goated. That's if you're gonna be a wild kid, not wild, that's the way I like to see it. You know what I'm saying? It was still calculated. It was still cool in the beginning of these rounds, and even this, like things like this, as you were pointing out, the delay mediums right there to get those meaty situations. Now for nothing, Sabo has some fantastic sequences to put him in the corner, but Rocky's defense was really good, alternating what he did, EXDP, sometimes he did the V shift and things like that, and not deterred by the fact that my man really did double dash up EX command grab. I would have got, but Rocky staying solid and sturdy, bro.
What's funny is we actually really didn't get to see the V-shift in play, which is a pretty big deterrence against Mika. I think it was the usage of the V-reversal. He was playing as if we didn't even have V-shift, to be honest with you, and Rocky did the most he could with it. Like, sure, he got command grab at one point. Like, he did get countered from that tactic where he wanted to avoid Nadeshko. He did get EX Rainbow swung on, but it didn't lead to any Oki. And in that situation where we actually got grabbed, he was barely at a life deficit. He was like 2 lights away from getting the lead back. But I think that was pretty important. Rocky utilizing that V-reversal in an expert manner. Also pretty degenerate with the EX uppercuts, but like if it hits, it hits. I like that. Personally, I think that was a very, very smart decision, right? You expect somebody to play a little bit solid, but it's also sprinkle a little nutty in there. That's fine,
a little wild every so often.
Wild.
And that
2-0, yeah.
He's going to be solidified for top 8 tomorrow. Going to be fighting Boomi in Winterside tomorrow, so they'll be sitting pretty for a bit. And as we get back with it, we're going to have Kaiser versus Toplin up next. Now, Kaiser is the one that sent Brian F. and GLB down to losers.
Oh, boy.
Toplin is the one that sent Mad Gear and Taj to losers. So
I was actually watching Taj's run because he was streaming that. He was talking about Gil versus Fong, and I gotta say, like, I'm impressed with the way Taj played at Combo Breaker, but I'm also very much so impressed with how Toplin pretty much shut him down. I was watching that matchup, and there were times where it looked like Taj wasn't even able to play. Like, I know very much so he's proficient with Gil. I fully understand it and fully aware of it, but Toplin and that Fong was a whole different story. It just changed the demeanor of the stream. I was just watching it. I'm like, man, I'm glad I don't have to play. I'm glad I don't have to play Toplin at all. I didn't get to see Kaiser's run as much. I saw a little bit of Just the Kid trying to snipe that out, but there was a lot. There was definitely a lot.
Yo, production doing a lot right now. What does that say, Vicious?
Ultra David says, yo, is that Street Fighter VI professional voice actor Jeremy Vicious? Yes, David. I appreciate y'all. Hey, man, a lot of the love and support has been coming in. Like, I'm not used to it. I know it's not about me.
Give him his flowers.
It's always about the CPT and the players, which is what we're always about. But I do appreciate the love and support, guys. People in the chat are going to be like, yeah, whatever, it's fine. Let's move on to the matches. I get it, but I do want to say thank you guys first and foremost. Capcom giving me the opportunity. You guys also praising me up. I appreciate that big time. It's been a dream come true. I'm still on cloud nine about it. I'm choking up a little bit. I cried at my desk, not gonna lie. But anyways, we'll talk about that another time over on the stream. Kaiser versus Toplin is exactly what we came to see, right? Luke versus Fong. And I think this is gonna be pretty interesting, right? There's gonna be a moment where Luke is gonna be running rampant. That's happening right now. But what happens when it comes up against someone like Fong? Like, Fong actually does a pretty decent job going around what Luke has, in my opinion, because again, Fong players have evolved over time to take on whoever the hell comes in their path.
That's true.
And I think there's a lot of tools that Fong may have to stop stuff like Sandblaster, to stop things like any sort of plus pressure with V reversals, right? Even EX command dash to get out of the corner and reset the situation.
Stuff.
I don't know what Luke is going to have in store against Poison that stacks up, a very versatile fireball game, and the traps and the zoning. So, quote unquote zoning.
Quote unquote zoning. Well, let's see what the zoner has to say. Toplin himself. Toplin says, all I need to do is believe every move is plus on block. Listen.
With hair like that? For sure.
Yeah, look at that.
I like that.
Everything looks
a little bit of the waves.
A little bit of the waves. I like that belief. If you believe, it can happen. And sometimes they may let you keep taking back your turns. But honestly, Fang is a character of a lot of plus frames in general. So it just kind of happens out.
I think
it kind of happens like that.
Fong has a lot of great tools in his kit when it comes to the normals department. I think his normals are pretty solid. It didn't lead to a lot of damage before. There was a lot of inconsistencies in connecting into big damage, knockdowns, Oki, etc. But they've balanced that out. I think Fong was one of the bigger winners of this patch, and I think right now he's in a very, very solid spot. And I do think he's a little tough to play. There's a lot of situations that you have to understand, but I think his offensive pressure and his mix-ups are phenomenal.
They're ridiculous. We saw that at CEO. We saw that at Combo Breaker, Mono, and stuff like that. You have a template to copy from.
I'm still waiting for someone to hit in the corner. There's a situation where you would get like a crush counter knockdown, Rio Benda, neutral jump, forward fierce to get the last minute mix. I hate that mix-up so much because I put it into the lab and I'm like, there's no shot of this correctly. Absolutely no shot because they're literally timing when they do the fierce, right? So it's rough.
Well, then we'd be rough. You have to set up shop to get this done, and Luke might prevent that. So one thing I want to see is Kaiser's zoning game plan, or he'll just dash underneath the fireballs before they become a problem or a threat.
Ooh. I like this from Kaiser so far. Pretty aggressive, too, because he caught Toplin slipping.
Yeah, lock him down. Sweet, yeah.
Oh, you better get out of there. Oh, he waited forever. Kaiser was actually looking for something else, actually. That was a charged flash method while in V-skills. So I don't know why he stopped kind of pressing buttons there, but it's not going to matter at the moment. Here we go. And look at the extra damage is coming in from the poison.
The chase on the V-ship. You so smart. Optic forward heavy punch. Gets the crush. EX keeps him in the corner.
No anti-air!
Where was it? The crouching medium kick has so much range, so strange to not see that.
And that
was in the corner.
That was directly above him. He could have done crouching heavy punch if he wanted to.
Crouching heavy punch. Crouching medium kick. Would have did it. V-ship.
So smart from Kaiser. And that's Yeah, it's so hard to tell what to do against someone like Fong when it comes to the counter crouch kicks because it leaves him plus, right? He could even do it into another sequence. We've seen Marlon utilize that plenty of times. But Kaiser using that V-shift in an expert manner. Good reactions too to even do that.
Kaiser now bleeding some of that health, but he could be leading. All he needs is a few hits. Can't stock up for free. Crush. Stuns rising. Toplin in there. Yo, show me a mix, baby. Ooh, EXTP denies it. Watch me kick off the backboard. He's spinning the bar to go far. He wants that corner send situation and the activation. Oh my god.
Not quite dead yet. One more trigger, actually. Yeah, it just stops right there. So he could bully from full screen, build up more trigger if he wanted to, and just let it rip. Oh!
Overhead.
Man, that hurts. I like that a lot. But look at how, look how close it could have been. There was a sequence where Toplin actually had corner momentum against Kaiser and had missed one anti-air situation. I'm just going to say, like, Luke is a bad man, but I think there was a chance for Toplin more times in that round in favor for him instead of like Luke. To be honest with you.
You know, I agree. And I also think that at this point, Toplin can gain a little bit of that data and just try to wait for some of these ETPs to fly for free. At this point, you understand that Kaiser wants to get out. Oh, the boss up.
Look at the damage!
They said this was okay. Capcom, y'all said this was okay.
There was no meter involved. No meter. Oh my god, we're talking about the mix. Look at that. Crush counter. Stun is there. The poison's adding up. He's big chilling. Instant overhead territory.
They go for it. Heavy punch. His activation, Kaiser. Goes for the
he actually damage into it.
Yo, that damage doesn't matter. EX sleeves comes through in the clutch top with that distance to do it.
That was actually kind of funny. Toplin was standing before the overhead hit, and then right where the active frames were, he ducked it. It was actually kind of funny. He bended to cover the approach. I like that. No fierce. He actually had two stand jab counter hits actually. He bended the cover. Oh, other side so sneaky. Right. Oh, you can actually hit that. If you're crouching, that roundhouse is supposed to blow up techs, like delayed tech. That's what that roundhouse is for.
But nothing coming from Toplin. You gotta get these sequences. Never mind. Get
everything coming from Toplin.
Everything coming from Toplin. Toplin's on top of the world right now, and he is able to top out a 1-to-1 to get it done. Toplin giving a lot better job. I feel like also Kaiser's starting to break down a bit in terms of defense. He's panicking a bit. You see the counter hits on the side switch. He'll cross-cut DPs.
Frames too.
On plus frames.
I'm actually very impressed with a lot of the Fong players stepping up to the plate right now, or stepping up to bat. A lot of them have been struggling for so many years.
Suffering. The brothers is suffering. And now, their just rewards as Capcom has buffed this character. Having just light confirms that are dangerous finally helps out this character in terms of defense. The offense is really good. V-shift and V-break about this character. And now we are seeing Toplin and Kaiser at set point.
They benefit so much out of the V-break system. It's actually kind of ridiculous. Look at the plus frames. Kaiser actually gets to walk out of it. Nice work. But, I thought the real thing was still there.
Yeah.
Oh
That'd have been so dirty.
That would have been plus on plus.
There you go, the DP's going to get those anti-airs off the low.
Never did I think I would say that about Fong. Plus on plus?
Plus on plus?
Oh yeah, he tried to catch another. Kaiser tried to catch another delayed button or tech against Toplin.
Toplin's time for the punish. He's ready. Staying steady. There's a viewer first to get some of that poison off, but you're still in the corner.
The thing is, I think you have to condition Toplin. What a time to use the fierce rocket uppercut to go past the projectile. Oh, you're dead. You're dead.
There's a throw in the finish. Toplin on set point. You were talking about the counter crouch, and look at how smart Toplin is in terms of using that. At that distance to let the fireball whiff, and he wouldn't have got hit. Recovered in time to stay fine. Now he's on set point. Oh no! Get up! Get up!
For a split second, I actually thought he was going to dodge. I'm like, that's pretty safe. But that does not happen. That was such a risky play, but it paid off tenfold. Kaiser now trying to stay in control, but no, Toplin is the one to establish it. All the plus frames, that fierce, not going anywhere. But Kaiser now, target combo, the Oki in hot pursuit. Toplin is not going to let this fly. Not going to stay in this corner at all. He's pushing and fighting his way back, but still, Sand Blaster. Rio Bennett, do not get near me.
Dissipated. And now Kaiser getting into him in the corner. Get back up. At this point, don't need to overextend to get the win. You just throw out those fireballs. At this point, Kaiser, just stay away to play, brother. Oh my God, you knew it was coming. You see the V-bar at the bottom. You gotta run.
We talked about that too. Fong has plenty of ways to get past the Sand Blaster.
Just hitting them.
Same side.
Toplin make the comeback like that, bro. With this character, you a god.
He spins it. Other side. Oh my God. That was actually a very important read from Kaiser. I think that was like the safest way to get out that you could have imagined.
If you went for the HDP, you would have got clipped or normal DP. If you would have mistimed it and would have got smoked for it, I like the jump back jab, and that would game became round around.
Did he press the button? I didn't see counter hit. Unless I'm blind. I think he assumed maybe it was the other side.
Well, for that Gears.
Ooh. Contesting after slash knuckle. EX sleeves, barely missing the block, but he's wait for Kaiser, the side switch. Just a raw fierce hitting the mark. I like this now. Kaiser trying to retain control. A little bit of a throw bait there.
I like the interruption. Puts the V-trigger out. Just moving neutral right here. Stays in front. So yeah, I would have got. Yo, Kaiser blocks it out. Still in the corner with the mink. The trade. Toplin. Easily by Kaiser. Double up the damage. Almost even.
Oh, he has the fist ready. You got to charge up the V-skill. He does have trigger one.
Oh, you thought from the back door is not Domino's. Toplin. In the scramble situation says, listen, I like it over easy. Takes it over Kaiser.
That was actually kind of nuts. That was actually kind of nuts. You had the flying Fong, first and foremost. Kaiser thought he could snipe that out with the rocket uppercut. It was a little short, significantly short, but what made it worse is that Toplin clipped him mid-air and got him into the cower crouch. Like, even if you guessed wrong, even if you guessed correctly, you would be hitting a plus frame situation for either throw, a tick throw, a low normal, or instant overhand.
So you still be caught in a mix. And that's the great thing about Toplin. Being as you have pointed out, a seasoned player of the Fong group has been suffering for so long. These minute decisions, you've already labbed, you've been in the lab with, you've had to take them to be solid, and even less so now that your character's stronger. Look at this Toplin, just so smart in the matchup. You can tell he's studious, and honestly, I'm not sure if Kaiser has had a lot of matchup experience against Fong. Maybe this season more, because you see a lot more of the Fong players, but even before, though.
No, I mean, I think he probably has. I think it's just the transition into Luke. A lot of the players have been kind of not necessarily jumping ship full onto Luke, but there's just something that's said when it comes to match familiarity. If you're piloting a different character,
that's a good point.
It is a significant difference.
Right,
but again, the numbers will never tell the tale correctly. I think Toplin again did a fantastic job of securing that win over Kaiser, and a lot of folks in the chat were like, "What is this guy talking about? Luke over Fong? That's Luke free." But it really depends, man. It really does depend. Like, you have Toplin, who is an experienced veteran with his character.
Right.
Kaiser, you can't necessarily say that's an experienced veteran when it comes to the character because it just came out, right?
Couple months.
So it is what it is. Toplin taking it down 2-1, establishing himself a position into top 8, along with Boomi, along with Rocky. And it's been pretty exciting so far, right? 2-0s, despite, or albeit pretty close. Toplin, pretty much the same story. Very, very close on both ends. It could have been either man's game. But as it stands right now, we have our first 3 matches established already.
This has already been a sick top 16. We're not even close to being done at all.
Not at all, yeah.
Not
we still
at
have
all.
So much more to go through. But while we're here, we actually want to talk to you about a game that I've been looking forward to, Street Fighter Duel. Man, that game needs to come out already. The Capcom authorized mobile game Street Fighter Duel is now available for download in China, with a global version coming soon. Fight along with Ryu, Chun-Li, and Ken against the Suzaku Castle, the entire castle, further into the Shadowloo City, explore the mysterious organization, experience the classic stories with all your fighters, and recall your memories from the original Street Fighter. Your Street legend is now back on track. Various fighting styles with counter, stun, combo, and super, an impressive array of fighting elements, and the associate combos offer you a new battle experience, challenging your combat skill. The epic legend is reborn on mobile. Download Street Fighter Duel now, and let's fight for each other and join the journey with millions of players to become the best fighter. Currently available in China, but best believe, I've been talking to a lot of players on Twitter, a lot of folks in general that are into the mobile game scene. I cannot wait to get this game.
Me too.
Because my character's in it. I definitely seen Yun on the character select screen during the ads.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I saw Rolito too.
We're in there. There you go.
Yo, bring this to me, all right? And listen, after this break, we're going to bring you more of this top 16 mid-best spot on the dot coming your way. Stick with it.
Time to fight, time to fight. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand have turned to defeat. So fight, time to fight. Glory waits for those who fight. We unite, we are street fighters.
When you go looking for strength, it's not like a game. This journey doesn't have a real ending. Okay then, hope you're ready to begin. If you want to start off on the right foot in this city, hit the streets.
Yeah, hey there, I do this. Never feel loose. And when I get up in the game, y'all be improved. A real problem, but I solve them all face proof. And if you think I'm going forward, then you talking fool. Yeah, y'all wanna win, let me spin, boy. Or dunks aside, I'm super fly like I'm hanging off the rim, boy. I've been winning for my kinfolk. And I put on for my city from the intro. Fight! It started from the ground up, training getting wound up, channeling the inner self and moving up and down, crossing over, passing around, I'm on the time the clock and keep score. 30 years I never thought it crossed before. When I get out on my knees, I got it digging deep. I feel like I'm on the left, it really has got me. Since I was the win, no goodbyes, if you just did again. I'm riding up scheming, riding and dreaming. Once I get the feeling,
The top player is here. Let me have some fun.
Ready? Then show me.
This will be a good fight.
if you wanna come and stand up to me, pull up on me now. If you wanna challenge, tell me what you wanna call me now. I'm on the road to the top and I'm not looking back. I'm on the road to the top and I'm not looking back.
This is our destiny. My secret art.
Street Fighter VI.
Let's go!
Fear my strength.
Have a taste of this. Don't take this personal.
I'll show no mercy.
This is for my fellow hunters.
All riders have to strike out on their own.
Let's do this.
The stage has been set all the way from Combo Breaker up until this very moment. It is indeed the Capcom Pro Tour North American mid-best qualifier coming in hot, especially with St. Cola and myself. We saw the first 3 matches go down, but I'll tell you what, we still have so many more matches to go because it is indeed top 16. And I tell you, there's a lot of matches, but the quality of it is going to be so fire.
What's absolutely going to be fire? This is a run back, people. Rob TV versus Dat Fit is coming. Oh, I'm sorry. That's losers. I got a little ahead of myself. That will be coming at some point. Rob T versus that will be coming at some point. But for right now, I got to talk about my boy Stack Bradford versus El Chicote. Now, Stack Bradford has definitely had his fair shares of offline run-ins that have not ended in his favor. You know, he's turn up my volume today and came through with some fantastic play, taking down Kevin Malone Chili, fantastic Sagat player himself.
I love Kevin Malone
Oh,
Chili,
man, I love that guy. And that was a close bout. And usually Kevin Malone Chili, at least when I watch them, it might be more in his favor, especially because the Sagat does well against Akuma. But Stack, man, he's working different today. El Chicote, not surprised to see that person in the top 16 spot. I feel like when we talk about top-level competitors in the Midwest, his name is always brought up, but it just depends on how energized he is lately. And I feel like after seeing the 5v5, after seeing people come through in Combo Breaker, he's like, you know what? I want to be back in the seat. I want to really try. I want to really practice. And beforehand, he was talking about how energized and how fired up he was for the CPT.
Yes, and I didn't get to hear most of the conversation when it came to the pickings of the Midwest team. I was thoroughly surprised not seeing Chicote's name on there. Hailing from Roseville, I would have imagined he would have been a pivotal part of the team. But fact of the matter is, again, his Mika has been absolutely explosive. And picking up a pocket Lucia, no longer in the pocket, I should say, that's definitely in contention for his main. He's seen that. He has shown that card a bunch of times over on streams. But that R Mika is one of legendary proportions because of the fact that back at SoCal Regionals, I believe, I don't remember if it was 2017 or 2018, he was the one that actually put Tokido away. As a matter of fact, yeah, that was a match that was heavily beheld by a lot of the players that were there. We were looking around, we were watching Chicote actually put the work on Tokido with this R Mika, significantly nerfed R Mika, by the way. But now that we see a different story with how Mika is this season, I'm pretty sure this is going to be the character to go up to bat against Stack Bradford. Now, a big concern right now is highlighted. You see the demon on the far left. It's going to be Akuma in this matchup, who has had a pretty significant downgrade, I will say. Yeah. Although they are trying to do the whole thing with V-Trigger 2, V-Skill 2 with this character. So I get it. I totally get it. But at the same time, he is struggling a little bit. He's still, as you mentioned before, we talked about this off stream, within the high-mid area. Yeah,
I think he's high-mid. I think he's still fine. But let's see how fine El Chicote is. Let's see what his quote has for us, what he has to say. I bet it's something spicy. I'm ready to fight Stack. I came to win this tournament.
And as he should. I mean, he's been one of the most confident players that I've met in a very humble way, right? He's never been out of line. He's never been out of pocket. This guy is a genuine dude, he's and so like nice. he understands what it takes to become that top dog. And it's very exciting to see. This guy has the schmicks, and I mean it when it comes to the schmovement and the schmicks. You have to put those big emphasis on it because he is the one that kind of keeps you guessing. And at the same time, there's no chance of you watching your replay and thinking to yourself, I could have avoided that. Yeah. It's inevitable. Chicote is inevitable.
Gotta flip the coin. You know, back to Stack Bradford, though. I gotta give him a shout out. He runs this thing called the Stream Team Battle. It's something different.
It's so sick, it's so actually.
Cool. It's not like a tournament series.
You're a genius for that, by the way.
I'm so happy we have this because it's not like a normal tournament series. It is a team-based, and I mean team-based sort of style, and it makes it so everybody, no matter if you're gold or whatever, if you're like ultra,
you have
ultra
divisions,
diamond, stuff like that,
right?
different divisions, they all matter. So the fact that he's putting it on and making sure there's more of a cohesive nature for the fighting game community is super sick with it. So Stack coming up, no straight to the danger when it comes to Mika players. He knows what to do. He's fought people like Cow and Lady and stuff like that, but I'm curious to see how he's going to play against Tay today. Oh man, I always start with the zoning. That has been a big pain point for the character. We talk about that until she's got bar. You have to use the old-fashioned walk and block or jump it.
Oh. And there we go. Already getting started. The brimstone. Number 2. Trying to build a brim house at this point. Do it again. Oh, yeah. Either way. Of course, yeah. After the Lady Mika, you're so plus, right? Why not go for the stun after the rainbow swing? More than enough damage. That is El Chicote in a nutshell.
With the quickness.
Round 2.
Stack. I'd like to see more of the defensive measures this character has. If you could
you
deal with that
against Chicote.
Yeah.
What are you supposed
I
to do?
mean, I'd like to see them. I'd like to see them at least displayed. You know, one of the best 3 frames in the business. We could do a toss with things like that. EXTP and some of that V-bar being used now.
But he's going with the V-set. He's going V-set 1, right?
He got V-set 1 to but still.
I mean, you can't parry the brimstone. That's the thing. Like, what are you going to do with the parry if it's all command grabs? Again, that first round was a schmick. Chicote, double V-reversal. I like that. V-reversal and the V-reversal. Smart for Chicote. And even smarter for the tick throw. Rainbow swing. And I'm telling you, man, you talk about the defensive measures that Bradford, or I should say Akuma, has. You can't V-skill a command grab. You can't reversal a command grab. He literally started off the first round with 4 brimstones in a row into a Lady Mika when you plus 2. And then Rainbow Swing, like, what are you gonna do about that? Not a whole lot.
Nice work, Akuma. Well, you know, he did go for the V-shift at the end right there when he was getting schmicks, but then there was a call-out that Tay was ready for. He was not steps ahead, he was flights ahead right now.
That was V reversal, no?
It was he V-shifted at the end right there because they saw the boost up. And Tay, oh, what a chase down. He's so ready and prepared. And Stack, that V-bar.
It looks like a tool-assisted match. Like, Chakotay has been making all the correct moves against Stack Bradford. Okay, the machine is sentient now. It's no longer on autopilot. Stack Bradford actually is trying to control the neutral a lot more. A little bit more activity and awareness of what Chakotay wants to do. Has Chakotay left the book for Stack Bradford to read, or is he giving him the red herring? Is he trying to give him false sense of security? There's the V-shift that we were talking about earlier. Out of there, too. Here comes the chair. Good maneuvers out of there. Stack Bradford, the mobility on this man.
He's that offense, big jump and gets the win. I like that from Stack Bradford. Backing up and let that fierce land of face to put him in his place. And Stack using the innate defense to get out. Not in the corner, but the mid-screen. Good for Stack Bradford to avoid that.
No interruption on the drop kick and high deadly, man. Plus frames afterwards, Chakotay letting the standing medium fly, V-reversal out, no dice. Chakotay a little bit too far out. There was a slight pushback there. The hit was there from the crouching jab. Chakotay wasn't ready for it. Luckily for Stack Bradford, he took a little bit of damage, a little bit of breathing room, but here's a dangerous situation. What do you do now, Chakotay? On the move.
Man grab, here we go. It's going to be a repeat of what we saw before. Yo, Stack, change the channel. Yeah, we out of there. We aware, but he's lost so much health. Goes like that top situation to link the armor. V-skill, get that V-bar built up in the throw. Activation, run.
There's a teleport, that's one. He tried to interrupt something. There's the rainbow swing, Chakotay, boom, looking at match point. Again, Stack Bradford threw out a crouching medium punch, however, that was for Nadesco and not even Mika. It was really unfortunate, but, you know, he still has one more round to possibly survive. The dropkick wasn't charged up, so it is his turn afterwards. The demon flip side. Oh, my God.
He wants the lead. This will definitely give it to him.
What happens afterwards? What's the situation? Dash up.
Delay rise from Stack. Catches the back dash. You're not going to last. We call up in the corner. The three-piece. The Chiefs. Oh, the DP. Yeah.
DP, perfect. Get himself out of the dangerous situation. That's one of the defensive maneuvers that is so risky, but it is going to be nullifying that throw mix-up.
That's true. Got put on the table, especially when it's at the set point right here for El Chakotay. Those fireballs. I would like to see more of the zoning play. She has to commit to that option, the EX Peach.
I think the trigger is mostly going to be a way to get in more so than controlling neutral. I like the red fireball right here. Wait the trigger.
Don't waste that. Absolutely right.
Oh my God.
What up, punish outside that distance.
I like the
hard knockdown.
What happens? Dash up. The tip throw. But then you lose Oki. What happens now? There's the chair.
He's fireball. EX demon flip. Does it bite on the shimmy? One more in the tank.
No
in the jump-in
way.
situation off the chair. Lands El Chakotay a spot in winners. And Stack down to losers.
And I understood the method of madness there from Stack Bradford. He threw out two lights to possibly hit Chakotay. He was trying to counterpoke Chakotay because he had no life left. If he had gotten the trade, it would have been perfect for Stack. But Chakotay was 2 steps ahead. He just let Nadesco do all the talking. As soon as the chair was released, he jumped over. It was more than enough to take it. Stack Bradford, again, not for nothing, really. I think he did a fantastic job of making the adjustments, the proper adjustments at that. It was just... Chakotay is just a little bit more patient towards the end.
Yeah.
He let the Nadesco, he let that trigger do the talking towards the end. But he was extremely explosive in game 1. Majority of the players on CFN would have cracked. So I think Stack Bradford, again, doing immense work with the mental game, with his recomposure. That has to be something in and of itself to be celebrated for. At least, you know, we have to highlight that accomplishment.
100%.
Again, we talk about that. He wanted to get a trade-off against Chakotay.
Yeah.
But Chakotay moving on into the top 8 spot. We've already solidified our first 4.
Boomi, Rocky, Toplin, El Chakotay, 4 tomorrow solidified. Again, not something I thought I was going to see. When I woke up, I was like, this could be a Brian F., Rob TV, and Just a Kid show. But not anymore. What we got in store is that for the top 8 sort of thing for winner's side. Now, it's time to toe tag him and bag him. It's time to go. To lose time and start sending people home. And the first match when I was so excited, I was like, let's get this one now.
So much, man. And I get it. This is pretty much a headliner in 2 different ways, right? Rob TV, I mean, who doesn't know Rob TV at this point? He is Hollywood. Exactly. It has been the brand name that has been shouted from the tops all across the nation. But Dap Vip, we got to talk about him just a little bit more a little bit after this, right? We talk about the losers side, Just a Kid as well, Lizardman. That's also a very heavily induced lore battle. Marv versus Orange Man. I would like to talk about these cats as well. Joe Ume Rogan versus Dells on Fire. Again, a lot of cats going into their tournament live play. But Dat Vip, going back into the matter at hand with this matchup, Dat Vip is he's a versus player. He's actually known to be a very, very consistent player that came from the ATL scene and has moved his way into where he's at currently. I think he's currently in Kansas right now. So I'm going to be very interested to see how Dat Vip has adjusted into the Street Fighter scene. And he's playing Cammy. He's doing it right so far, I got to say.
And y'all doing it right. Yo, Muzakita, I see you. Tay say here, I got 2 chairs. Which one do you want to have a seat on? Dang, man said take a seat in the loser side. But it's not the end of Stacks
he
Run.
Put both seats into losers?
Said, you pick which one. You want left or right, bro? There you go. It's right there.
It's not even a choice at this point.
No, you just have to.
It's just literally
you in the stands.
Here's front row seat to losers, and here's second row or VIP seating. It's still going to be in the same section.
I mean, who else is in that section? But also Rob TV, which I didn't think I was going to see. I'm going to be real with you. Rob TV.
Nobody thought that.
First of all, he got a 2-1 over Hawaiian Shirt Man, which was to him, he was surprised with the Honda pick.
I'm also surprised to not see Hawaiian Shirt Man. Didn't mean to interrupt you, but he's been playing on fire a little bit. He's been switching up to Honda, and Rob TV again shouting from the hilltops. Who thought this was a good idea to give this man this character, which is proper.
It is.
Go on, I'm so sorry.
But Rob in the loser side, I feel like he's down, but he's not out yet. See on Twitter, he's like, I'm still with it. And again, this is a little bit of a lore match. They have fought an earlier CPT in Midwest, where Rob had said, "Who the hell is that Vip?"
He said
in that previous time.
Did he?
After and that was one of his quotes. Maybe he'll be reminded here because this is his last shot to qualify. But Rob, even if he's in loser side, he thrives off this energy, right? Even when the chips are down, Rob thrives off this energy. Remember what my man's quote was to Brian, even though he won against Brian F? Hate me! Hate me!
He was
Your friends! What are you saying that to for?
Yeah, and then Brian he just had to sit there and take that. I'm like, Brian, no,
Brian's
not like this. And the fact that Rob TV called Brian F on the buff list, you don't understand. 2017, 2018, Brian F and Strider 801 were one of the buffest cats in the scene. They're the reasons why I went to the gym in 2018. They were like, man, I'm tired of seeing these guys at every event.
Yeah, they get too stacked out here, you know what I'm saying?
It's kind of nutty. But Rob TV, first and foremost, man, he's been putting in that work physically and mentally and in the game. I got to say, seeing him in the top 16, I'm not too surprised. The only surprise is that it's come from the loser side.
Right. And he's still sticking with the Karen. I still feel like that character has not been nerfed in a way that Neuters has played too much, right? You can't be with the normals as much.
I don't think he doesn't neutered him at all. That's the thing. He's of the caliber. He's of the school of the Alpha Academy, right? You talk about the Alpha Academy. Punk has been the one to kind of pioneer this character thoroughly, right? In Japan, you kind of have even other players emulating the way that Punk plays his character.
Bonchan, Mago.
Yeah, and Rob TV, it's no slight on the Japanese scene at all.
Yeah.
But Rob TV has taken akin to that as well. When you talk about the nerfs of carrying, is it really a factor when it comes to somebody who has a fantastic neutral game? Is he going to whiff that button? Most likely not.
Yeah.
And the same could be applied to Cammy.
Yeah.
Cammy players as well. With the exact same nerfs. Is that button going to be whiffed? Probably not.
Yeah. See that with people like Hurricane, and we also saw it with that Vip at Combo Breaker.
Okay, it whiffed.
Yeah, okay. But listen,
It didn't
there's
get
a
punished.
template. It didn't get punished. The template's hard to read, and you see these players have different templates so that they're not just whipping out buttons consistently. There's a different sort of style with it. There's a crouch kick, there's a confirms. We'll have to see from Rob TV.
He's been activation already pretty early at that. Oh, you still get got by that. You can actually counter that in so many ways, but it messes people off guard.
Dive kick against some of these crouch mini kicks. We see that from that Vip. A little bit predictive, but it's starting to work out.
Oh, you get a punish on that. Oh, but he went for the damage. It results in a side switch, which is actually terrible because he went no! Rob TV had more than enough to get the kill. I was just about to say that side switch from Dapkip off of the EX Spiral Arrow was in benefit for Rob TV.
Could have finished it.
Oh my lordy.
Finish the job. Rob got to slow down just a bit. Here we go to 3-piece on the shoulder. That Vip, wake up Defiance.
What a call out. What a call out too, because one heavy sequence would have been corner positioning and hella damage. Actually, that would have been one more for stun, if I think about it. Rob TV now going for the activation, checks the lows again. Immaculate when it comes to the confirmed game. I lied! I lied to you all. I lied to you all.
Rob can still save the bar. This is a good run.
Okay,
Able to save the bar for the next round to go down, but those are the drops that you don't want. Even though you win the round, those are the drops you do not want as these rounds go down. Remember, this is a first to two.
And I get it, right? I get I get it if Rob TV wanted to save the meter, but there's so many other instances he could have gone to. He
Right,
could have gone Gudenken into the slide,
Right,
and still
right.
get Oki, still get the damage. Oh, the delay crouching medium punch. You're actually going to have more than enough to stun. He's going to spend it now. This is going to be interesting. He's going to go for instant Tenko. Oh, I lied. He went for the damage route. Oh, my. Okay, so that's actually mad tricky. He went for the Risenha route, which induces a lot of the like extra damage. It peppers it in.
Yeah.
But it leads to a standing mix rather than doing a side switch mix from instant Tenko into crouch jab.
Oh,
reset,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, well, Rob, you nasty.
He's dirty.
He's dirty. This guy's kind of good. He's
He-
kind of good.
He goes for the
kinda good.
reset more often than not, and I appreciate him for it.
Yeah.
But I just hope it doesn't bite him in the end. Because we saw that in the first round.
Yeah,
as
where it
as
messed
Dat
him up.
Vip, yeah. No confirm from the side of Dat Vip. Missing the low medium kick. And again with the crouching medium punch. Although he was a little bit too far to continue with a second normal, he could have canceled into spiral arrow. Again, a couple of straight hits. Big hits at that.
I think going for these dive kicks to delete the crouching medium kick, the catch Rob coming in, but I'm saying no
Another
conversion of the
that
crouching
was
medium kick.
missed. And another one. There's a
These
lot of
drops.
straight hits. Rob is just catching bullets at this point. He's just been trying to hit all the hits in a bad way.
Never again, not me. That hit lets it go for free. The Senha hits, the shoulders on him too, the late rise. Holds the throw, Daffip in the corner. Oh. With a damn button.
2 mediums in a row. Daffip now in chip territory. Rob TV. Is Daffip actually going to go for the critical art? I doubt it.
Oh,
he should have. He should have.
You should have did it.
You're dead.
You should have done. Behold. Behold, Rob TV on set point. You gotta finish the job. Spin to win.
Albeit, Rob is at match point. Daffip has plenty of meter to at least get this round.
That's true.
But we're going to see how he spends it first, right? I don't know if he's going to use it for EX Spiral Arrow, for a combo extension. I don't know if he's going to use it for EX Dive Kick or not, into resets. It's going to be very interesting. Is Rob TV even going to give him the opportunity to use this meter?
I mean, it's being looking a little difficult. Daffip not like stopping in dashes, which I'm really surprised that runs right into the crush assassin with the Risenha in the back throw. Feeling if that's done though.
There it is. Oh, he missed the reset opportunity, but it's going to be just fine. Rob TV now in dire straits. A little bit of a tease there from the V-Skill 2, trying to force an error.
I'm not fighting. Slide, EXDP applied.
Oh, boy.
Again,
oh my
Risenha!
God! Done.
You so done.
Dropped it.
The drops one picks it up. Rob TV still gets the win. But them drop situations, clean it up, Rob. Clean it up. Clean it up.
What is happening? There's a bunch of spaghetti.
What's going on?
Bunch of spaghetti.
What's going on?
Here on CFN. Mm-hmm. I had lunch. I didn't expect a second helping of pasta because that was a lot of spaghetti. I really didn't. Rob TV. In Rob TV manner, I could feel the energy coming from his house. Mm-hmm. I still don't know who you are, man. Like, I can feel him flexing. I feel the muscles being flexed right now, and it's so. I gotta say, it was a little messy, and I was kind of concerned for both players.
Very.
But Rob TV again managing to shut it out, reset after reset. This guy is he's real sneaky.
He does pretty good. Does pretty good work. Goes the Street Fighter V thing. He'll be moving on to Fight Stack a little bit later on. That bit I feel like was just like confirms away from taking some of these rounds to go down.
I
And I
agree.
did like the idea of doing the dive kick because he was having trouble with the crouching medium kick and not checking the dashes. All those things add up to him just not getting the win. Like I would have liked to see more of that like consistent cami play
Yes.
that we're typically used to seeing from him.
Yeah, we've seen this a bunch of time, especially from I'm gonna say Odin Pin. Actually.
Odin Pin.
I know
I
it's
like
a
that
0,
name.
but it's Odin Pin.
I like that name.
Okay, Rob's in top form, and
Okay.
that's actually very significant. How you got a lot closer to me? I feel like.
I did.
What happened?
I don't know. I just because I've been pushing around. We've been moving around a lot. So
He does this all the time.
I
by the
do,
way. Can
but
you
I also
center
push you
yourself?
away. But I also push you away though, so it also gets problematic because I'm swinging and stuff like that. These matches have been super sick with it.
Yeah.
It's super hype. We're still in the top 16 spot. We still have a lot more to go, man.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about Datvip. There was a lot of damage that was left on the table. Just to kind of reiterate the point of what had happened, right? In Kami fashion, when you get that dive kick and the character is crouching, you still have time to do crouching jab into target combo to sit them back up and then go into more
for that
damage,
brainless.
right?
Yeah.
So there was just a lot of significant damage that was left on the table. The confirms weren't there. He got a couple of stray hits that didn't really lead to as much. It did deter Rob in neutral a slight bit, but it wasn't enough for him to like stop going for whatever he wanted to in neutral
True.
after the momentum's been reset, right? There was a couple of hints of potential from DAP VIP in neutral, but it just wasn't. It didn't stir up enough to shake down Rob TV.
Didn't see much of the V-Trigger play either, too. Like, no, the EX
True.
or super, and then you have the V-Trigger mix up right after, and none of that, the stuff that you would typically see from Cammy. We saw, like, the sprinkle of the V-skill. Every so often get predictive with it, but those things did not add up enough, and Rob looking on form. Maybe needs to clean up a few more things, but he is definitely looking like Rob TV out there.
I'm not gonna lie, this is bugging the heck out of me. Let's take a look at the bracket, man. Center yourself, man.
I'm
You have
sorry.
time. Let's take a look at the bracket as he adjusts his seat. Just the Kid versus Lizardman, which is a very significant run at that, right? We talk about the war match. Lizardman has been the one to kind of take Just the Kid to a lot of his tournaments, and to see them face off against each other, best believe there's going to be multiple manners of disrespect between these two, but of course in a justful way.
Yeah, of course.
It's all love, of course, between these two. Obviously, Marv and Orange Man is coming up after that, and then after the break it's going to be Joe Ume Rogan versus Del's on Fire. But again, Just the Kid versus Lizardman is one we like to highlight. That's a lot of sunglasses.
That's a lot. Do you need that many? Look like a centipede.
What? That's legs, bro.
Oh yeah, you're right, but with
You
eyes.
could have picked any bug with more eyes. You could have
I
picked
don't know. For some reason, I thought a centipede. But Just the Kid, I'm thinking of him to possibly get the win because he's been on a hot streak recently, doing work at the 5v5, and then also doing work getting second place at Texas Showdown. Not for nothing, though, Lizardman has been a very strong contender. Has been winning tournaments like closed editions and things like that.
Yeah.
The top spots on the online, local, and the low kick weeklies that we have at Ignite in Chicago. Actually, let's take a look at what Lizardman has to say.
You had mentioned, or I had mentioned it earlier, I have driven David to so many offline tournaments since season 3, and he constantly beats me after I go out of my way to bring him to these events.
Wow.
My goal is to get a little stupid and pray that I can vibe my way past him. But either way, this will be a fun match. And I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I kind of like that. Like, it's really a series of unfortunate events to drive the person that you know is going to eliminate you
I'd be so
or
salty.
send you into losers. I've had my experiences with that on grander stages. I had that happen to me at EVO. I'm not going to say who did it, but I'll tell you what, man, that was a really salty ride back home. And I get it. I get it from Lizardman, right? This is the moment of redemption that he's looking for. Lizardman has had a very impressive run. He actually took down Safe on the way over. Safe was one of the cats that we had our eye on to make it in or throughout pools, right? Again, that was very early on. Lizardman, despite being in losers, he was the one that took down a lot of heavy hitters on the winner's side.
I mean, he's been a proponent of the V-skill too, way before. I mean, after it got nerfed and, still utilizing that. And it's not, I feel like he says he's like a little goofy with it, but I think there's a little bit of, wildness, or with a little bit of rhyme with his wildness. He understands how to use that V-skill too in a smart enough way. That's why he's been able to win tournaments, stay solid in the Midwest sort of thing. He just needs to solidify his neutral just a little bit more. There's a few more bust-out moments that he really needs, but his neutral overall is really good. It's gotten better and better over the years. We talked about Just a Kid, who's gotten better about the anti-airs. Maybe not there. Maybe not there.
We've been cursed a lot,
Oh
actually.
my
We've been
God.
commentators cursed a lot.
That's
recently.
terrible. But listen, you don't feel right back like that. Lizardman, again, with the V-skill 2 situation.
Whiff punish.
I feel like Jury has a good range of those DPs to catch that out of the sky. So you have to be careful about using that V-skill too.
That is a giant jump back. One small step for man, another giant leap for Lizardman. That was actually pretty good on the side of Lizardman. Albeit, Just the Kid actually managed to bust out with the sweep into V-Trigger. I think that sweep should have led to the side switch first and foremost instead of activating into Trigger, right?
See the anti-projectile game right there. With the string, he used the EX flip. Just a Kid. Now command the neutral a little bit better. It's the way that he wants to play. Have that momentum and then command the neutral and feel confident in it. That's where he is at his strongest. That wrong.
Yeah, he's ready for that 100%. I've seen him lab that a bunch. Always ready for that V reversal. And I like that. Covering the V-skill. If you jump backwards, he goes forward. That's all it is.
Perfect. And this, you guys are seeing it's even more and more layers because they play each other so often that they have to introduce things that are particular to the other players. So I love this sort of play.
Yeah, but they only sprinkle it in, right? It's not as evident. You're not going to see, like, blatant wild strategy. That was actually, I couldn't even tell if that was a buffer or an excellent control from the Fierce because it was kind of close. It was pretty close.
See that walk back like that? The micro step with the Fierce, put him in the corner.
Oh my God, what an
exchange. Try to brutalize him. ECP actually reaches an anti-air. Lizardman putting him in the corner. Off the backboard, plus frames, delay.
And what a jump out too from Just the Kid, still keeping Lizardman on check. Again, checking the toes. Just the Kid. Lizardman was looking for the activation from from Jury. Wasn't going to give it to him. Excellent decision making from Lizardman. Good reads overall.
No!
Out of there. Hey, not bad.
Yeah, not bad. You'll take that.
You'll
You'll take that. Could have been worse. Now it's your turn to party. Lizardman, pull the trigger.
That was sick, but
defense.
defense even better from Just the Kid. One throw away, and he knew it. We all knew it.
Good
The
call.
American people knew it. Lizardman down one game against Just the Kid. That throw was coming out. I think that was one of the layers he was going to add on. He was going to start off with the throw. He gets teched, but Jury's going to be in favor, right? You're going to have that medium kick kind of stuffing out whatever Rashid would want to throw out that would actually reach.
It's a dangerous button.
It's extremely dangerous button.
It's a nasty button. You see it all on Twitter. But I will say that Lizardman is doing something different with it. I like how he did the B skill and did the dive kick to delete the DP, but he may not be even seeing that right here. Let's get puts him in the corner, covering the approach with the fireball. And again, the DP situation wakes up with the back throw, switching position is changing the pace a little bit. This is where you like to play as Rashid. This is where you get the most damage.
Oh, what is happening? Just the Kid is actually opening up Lizardman multiple times, but he's crouching. I don't even see the counter hit. What am I blowing? Back row. And I like that. Still gets the side switch, no activation because he didn't have trigger, but at the same time, it's not punishable. I'm loving that. I'm loving that. He's so close, too. That standing medium punch, it caught Lizardman's movement.
He's getting his back. You can tell just the way that he's playing. He's confident, calm, cool, collected. It's the way that you typically want to see from Just the Kid. And Lizardman break it down a bit. And maybe some of this is part of the reason why you don't have the XTP. That used to be a lot better. Oh my God, the throw range. The throw range.
You can stop that. You could actually stop that. He doesn't get to do 3 weeks to 3 like this.
He's a little bit with days. Air throw against the B skill too. He knew what to do.
That was actually pretty sick. That was actually disgusting. In the best way imaginable. Medium kick activation. He tried to avoid the V trigger, but it's just not going to be enough. Oh, yeah.
Air throw? Yeah. Not again. Can't EXTP the Lizardman special. Gets the jump into the super just to steal it. It stays away from that set point that Just the Kid would love to have. But that was such an expensive spin.
He had to do it. I think Just the Kid was anticipating a way out with the utilization of the fireball in V-trigger, right?
True.
He was going to try to force his way out, but Lizardman was already airborne. I think he tried to catch him on the way down. So a lot of meter on the side of Just the Kid. One confirm into the corner is going to be a good deal. Had to spin that V-reversal.
Yeah, you're right. It's so hard to even deal with this character. You delay rise, give him a chance to stock up, cross up, side switch with it. The DP puts him in the corner, locking out the neutral with the fireball, forcing him into the air, but the V-reversal's there.
I wonder what that uppercut was about, actually. From Just the Kid. I thought. I swear, I thought that fireball was going to be active.
That's what he wanted.
Sweep to sweep connection. Throw bait over and over again. Just the Kid is toying with his food. Multiple jabs.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, again, he was at the optimal position to catch any sort of V-reversal. All he had to do was crouching light punch, and that's going to be it. Just the Kid eliminates Lizardman in a very convincing fashion, 2-0.
Yeah, and by convincing, I really want to point out the fact that a lot of that was that matchup knowledge. I don't really typically see people know how to deal with that V skill too. We saw the air throw, the DPs, things like that, forcing a different look from Lizardman with the dive kicks, and it wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough. Even the ground game was difficult too with the fireballs. And Lizardman, I feel like when they take away the EXTP being a lot slower this season, it takes away that part of defense.
14 frames on startup
it's hella slow.
It's mad slow.
It takes away that defense and that unpredictability that he has, and that you have to play a little bit more solid. You have to wake up with like the 3-frame lights and things like that. But I feel like that also shut down the pace that he wants to play at, and Just the Kid was in his bag the entire time, man. This was a good sequence, so I like that from Lizardman to spin to win right there. But in the end, that crouching jab, just a dab will do you.
I mean, there was very little risk behind it from Just the Kid. He was going to mash out crouching jab to force himself that far away, and it just so happened that Lizardman thought that was a good time to V-reversal. You would have to do it in against a normal that's way more committal. Like crouching jab, you have so much leeway to go into any other sequence that you would want to. If you were to throw out something like a heavier normal into a cancel, or a closer normal off of crouching or standing medium punch or something to start a frame trap, I get it. You don't want to risk not being able to V-reversal, but at the same time, it's like the timing of doing it against a jab, you're gonna see that kind of result. So Just the Kid, again, very convincing, 2-0 against Lizardman. And I gotta say, man, that was actually a very quick 3 matches already.
That's it? What? Hello?
You almost skipped the match earlier.
I almost did because I was so ready prepared for what is coming, but you know what else is coming? There's something coming in the future.
Go on, St. Cola.
I think there might be coming something in the future, something like some sort of a duel in the future.
Well, you got to reveal this trap card for me, brother. What's the duel?
I think it might be the Street Fighter duel coming in the future, people. The first, I'm sorry, looking at the wrong thing. The Capcom authorized mobile game Street Fighter Duel is now available for download in China, with a global version coming soon. The epic legend is reborn on mobile. Download Street Fighter Duel now and let's fight each other and join the journey with millions of players to become the best fighter. People, I'll be joining y'all soon once it comes out in the stateside in the future with my Rolento, because that's the only time I'm about to see that character.
And again, to kind of remind you folks at home, you guys are enjoying the Capcom Pro Tour North American Midwest Qualifier. However, we have plenty more action going down the pipeline as we see Japan coming real soon. The registration closes June 6th, and it's going to be streamed on June 11th as well as the 12th over at capcom.us/Japan. If you guys want to enter, of course, it is restricted to those residents in Japan. But as you're watching it for the NA scene, this is where you want to keep your calendars free. June 11th, June 12th. It's gonna be absolutely ridiculous. For those that have been watching Topanga League, right now it has been a fire week because these guys have been moving in ways that I have not seen before. They have fully acclimated themselves to the current patch. You do not want to miss it. Again, registration closes June 6th. Most of us are going to be watching the streams on the 11th as well as the 12th. And a big reminder for those of you part of the Central American East region, it did get moved, just an FYI. We had it down in July for the 23rd and 24th. It is moved to the 30th and 31st of July. Just a reminder. So you're not going to see it on the tournament schedule. But South America West is coming up after Japan. You don't want to miss it. It's one of the first weeks of July, the first week of July. Mark your calendars there, as well as later on with July 16th with Asia Southeast. There's a lot of events going down, both in and out of the States. I got to say, we finally get to see that overseas action even more so, right? We took a little bit of a break coming in from the EU region, came back to America, and now going into the Asian territories as well as the South American territories. So very, very excited to see how it's going to play out, as well as what's coming up after this, right? We still have plenty more matches to go on the loser's side. Who will end their tournament life here in the CPT? There's only one spot for each region, and we're going to see how it's filled out for the Midwest here in the top 16 when we come back.
Time to fight, time to fight. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand have turned to feast. So fight, time to fight. Glory waits for those who fight. We unite, we are street fighters.
So, you really want to go through the trouble? Fine. All clear! Easy mode too much? Sucks to be you. I'm always ready for a fight.
Back in that top 16 spot, mid-best style, people, CPT. It's the last one to dot because there's only one. There's only one to get it done. And I'm going to tell you what. It's your boy St. Cola, joined with Vicious, and we were out here to see these stacks out here. And at the top, these players make savages.
That's true, man. There's a lot on the line. We didn't get to talk about this, and I got to say, that's my fault. We always kind of glance over the prize pool, but it is a very significant prize pool at that. Let's take a look at what they're fighting for here, not only for a top spot here in the CPT 4-shot at Capcom Cup, but in fact, the top 4 gets paid out, split amongst them, 5 stacks. That is $5,000 going up against the top 4, I should say. I could have done that a little bit better, but I'll tell you what, $5,000 is pretty damn good for entering for free at the comfort of your own home and playing against some of the best players you could ask for in the mid-best. And we got to keep saying it, mid-best, it is indeed what it is. Marv versus Orange Man is what we could expect next. And we see how it played out so far in the couple of matches prior, right? We're already getting that round 2 established little by little, but we still have these 4 players remaining.
Brian F. not in this tournament and was slain, taken down by Marv, Karen player. Orange Man on the side of him took down Mad Gear with just one drop confirm, was able to ride it back from the brink. And so we see these two in the top 16 spot. So Orange Man's, talking about Orange Man real quick, he has been participating in a lot of the tournaments in the, Digital Havoc, Canadian area.
Yeah, he's from Toronto, yeah.
Yeah, Toronto. He's a fantastic Zeku player. But Marv, he's a really good Karen player. He's been fantastic in a lot of the online locals and stuff like that. I've been seeing him pop up every so often there. Maybe not as active as other Karen players, but when he comes through, he does a lot of damage.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, that's pretty much inherent in the nature of Karen players, right? You're going to be doing a lot of damage off of these confirms. Solo hit confirms, one of the best to do it in the game, actually, right? She benefits off of more single hit confirms than majority of the cast. Then you have someone like Zeku in the hands of Orange Man, right? Orange Man has had a pretty confident strut about him in a great way. Actually, one of the things he had said in his questionnaire was that he is the best Zeku player. And that's the kind of confidence I do like. JR Scribe saying, I want to drink a Vicious Cola. That'd be an awesome drink name. Well, that'd be cool if we actually had that name over at, Capcom Cup. They have the bar. They have the custom Street Fighter names. A Vicious Cola.
Easy one for you, Capcom. There you go.
There you go. It works out. Yeah. I feel like that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's got it.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I think that might happen. Whoever said that was pretty good. It was JR Scribe. Very nice work.
I see you, bro.
Very nice work. Going into it again, Marv versus Orange Man. Marv hailing from Texas. Also as a pocket Akira, we kind of talked about the character diversity in the top 16. We did had double showings of Karen, double showings of Akira, potentially, right? So it really depends. I think Marv is going to be sticking it out with Karen against Zeku. I think both players can do extremely well against Zeku, young Zeku primarily.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, you talked about this earlier when it came to Zeku versus Akira. I think old Zeku does a really fantastic job of keeping some of these brawlers away.
Yeah, being able to have the zoning play, you can't just do the heavy kick DP right through some of the projectiles that you would typically do in some of the other zoners, but we see it right here we see the switch going for the Akka. And honestly, I like this pick also because, as I talked about before, you can't just hit the V-Trigger 2 to delete the air fireball. That's why we see the V-Trigger 1 from Orange Man on the side of Zeku.
Man, this guy's definitely a Dallas fan through and through. Luka Doncic, my man. I see you. But yeah. Oh. This is the matchup we were talking about earlier. I honestly thought it was going to be Karen, but it was indeed the Akira pick. Close to stun. He's not going to get overheaded. Man,
Wow.
what a time to bust out. Orange Man.
No
Using that
activation.
DX. And that's fine. That's totally fine.
Able to
Whittling
stay
away. Little by little. And this is the perfect time to activate. Oh, okay,
There it
well, he
is.
got a hit. And it's fine because now he's in stun territory. No, he could have pursued.
Another sweep off the feet. Use the activation and the throw. One more touch will do it. Where is Marv going to activate?
Can he activate?
Oh,
Oh,
after
you
he hits
asked for
elbow.
it. You're dead. Oh, no. Couldn't you have done a little more off of that? There it is. Yes, that's what I was looking
Pop
for.
up.
But it's
Line
not
up.
enough damage.
So you do EX connect.
Oh my god. What do you know what's actually messed up about that is
Talk to me.
that was a sharp angle that Zeku can't contest no matter what. Like old Zeku, sorry, young Zeku is so susceptible to jump-ins. What makes it worse is that Akira can completely halt her jump-in with that fireball. That was messed up.
Yeah, can't horizontal that. If you're in old, you could maybe DP if you hit the projectile, but it's difficult to air throw on the EX whip. Are you kidding me? Marv, you so ready, staying steady. My dog, I've never seen someone air throw that in my entire life. Marv, you got a godlike. Put the EX elbows on the ashy stuff.
I actually haven't seen that enough, really. And every time I do see it, it
I'm
takes
sure.
me by surprise. That was well done. Expertly placed there from Marv. The side switch now into young Zeku. This is going to be a battle of pretty much fists. We're going to see how it plays out. Orange Man is looking to kind of get in close quarters, but still the frame trap just enough to get a little bit of damage, but at what cost, right? He lost the V-Trigger, didn't lead to big damage, and it's still Marv now in the lead with full resources, by the way. That trigger is waiting to be pulled.
And you see Orange Man trying to stay away from any activations that play. Any of these like forward heavy punches or the heavy kicks. There's a throw in the corner though. Marv could use the EX bar, but he'll use the heavy kick to activate safely. Ooh, the challenge though. And the Oki. Marv blocks it out.
Oh boy. Oh no, he actually, he didn't go for, okay. It didn't matter. He didn't actually get the right V-skill, the right kind of V-skill activation where you pop him up a lot higher. And even so, I don't think you can get a critical art conversion if you're too far away from the corner. It didn't matter towards the end. He did manage to get the target combo to stuff out and possibly chip damage. I wasn't looking at Orange Man's V gauge, but at the same time, he still got to confirm, got the first game, saved himself a lot of trouble. What I did like also from Orange Man, though, the rebuttal, the giant rebuttal he had from the first round.
Yeah.
I loved his usage of V-Trigger and window. He was confirming everything.
Yes.
But he was a little shaky in that last one. He was a little overzealous with the activation. He wanted to get it out of the way.
So I'm using it as a tool to bait people out to kind of control their reactions. That's what you typically utilize that V-Trigger for. It's the threat of it, not so much the V-Trigger in and of itself for the robbery.
Perfect.
There's the throw though. Marv puts him in the corner. And that crouching medium punch keeps you a lot closer on blocks. So very strong tool this season. Here's the activation. Too far out for that crouching right. Maybe we need to go with the horizontal with that distance.
Yeah, a little bit, right? I think that was a pretty similar idea of thinking, but Marv right now, he's just pretty much chilling. He wants to make sure the threat of the trigger is no longer available, and he's just doing that. Again, the defense is just so evident for Marv. Up until that point, that was actually a lot of damage considering the gray life. He's looking for an activation. He's not going to let it rock from that far away, but there it is. Yeah, a little bit closer out. He didn't want to get counter hit, but he did anyway. Orange Man, not afraid to let the crouching jab slide. This is going to be a lot of Marv coming in. Toss frames after the kicks.
Don't get opened up.
And he's not.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gray life, though. Don't get overhead. Oh, boy. That could have been so dangerous.
Yeah, we get the back throw. Does it again. Marv not checking with the cross cuts.
A little tough. That's standing short. Really halted Marv. The trigger is running down. We're going to see an activation, or at least one more shot of it, possibly, if Orange Man gets hit. It's going to be over.
You whip these buttons from this man's face.
No. No, you can't.
Oh!
What? Did that actually counter the EX uppercut? That happens a lot, actually.
Yeah.
That thing is mad good. That critical art has so much priority. It stuffed out EX uppercut. I gotta see the invincibility frames on that.
Yeah, I'll check that out a little later. And there's no V-bar to save Marv, so good spin right there from Orange Man to get the win. I like to see more of this old play. I feel like it would solidify the neutral so that the second half could use the young to get it done. But now in the corner, you have defense, you do have the DP if you go for the jump ins. You build up the bar, you have the EX addition too as well.
Oh, the uppercut. Not in sight. Orange Man converting. Oh, that's actually huge. That sharp angle is going to be so much for Orange Man. Look at the damage. Switch over to the old man. I lied to you. He's throwing it off the backboard to himself, by the way. Go for potential side switch, maybe. Okay. No, he's just going for the harassment of normals. And I like that, too. The V-trigger is slowly winding down for Orange Man. Not bad. Took a tick throw. Yeah. Marv now sitting on full resources. A confirm is a sealed deal. All right, I lied to you. He actually used EX as the route to go into for the trigger activation. Plus frames afterwards. What do? Orange Man, nice and steady.
He's that standing white kick every so often. EX, but Marv just backs away. Defensive play. I like that. The air throw. Down to the ground you go. Not betting on the DPs at all. Goes for what he knows. Ooh. Look at that. Just a touch. Just a touch. The dab will do you. There you go. And Marv on set point. I love his defense. Avoiding the V-trigger, actually forcing Orange Man to waste that resource. I feel like Orange Man doesn't have to spin so quickly for that V-trigger situation, and Marv making him antsy.
Oh boy. Man, the tail end of that grab actually touched. His facing. The roundhouse. Also, I love the utilization of that roundhouse to check Orange Man's advancement. Like he wants him to get a little bit closer and run into this normal, sure, but at the same time, Orange Man, he has no reason to be there. He has no reason to be there. He has grams to keep Akira away, but for how long?
Crushing kick gets in play, puts him in the corner. I can see more of the whip punishes come from Orange Man.
He tried it.
Yeah, denied it right there. The side switch. Good for Orange Man to beat him in the corner. Like this is why I like to see the young come through, but the crush comes through before the EX connects.
A little bit of a tough bearing for Marv. He's always looking for a way to activate trigger into a successful hit because a lot of the block strings hasn't done much against Orange Man. Orange Man has just done a superb job of keeping his defense alive while in trigger state, while Akira's in trigger state, so he's welcoming that. He's totally fine with that. Yeah, you get to duck that. Excellent maneuvering from Orange Man, keeping himself ducked. Duck and tuck. The throw. Okay, that was going to be the throw for death.
Oh, no, Hosanto! At that range, you definitely could have waited on Hosanto to stop that jump in. Down to the ground you go.
Double dash? Ooh. Are we going to see elbow activation? He's waiting for it. Marv is actually waiting for it. There's the activation. That's actually mad close. Plus frames again. No budge from Orange Man. But watch out, though. 10 seconds on the clock.
Close that chip, no tip situation. Careful, there it is. A near reversal. EX interruption. Marv taking it. Susan saw the flash, so you may not pass. And Marv says you can't pass through this bracket, bro. As he goes on 2-0. Man, Marv so stable in this match. And not only that, just denying any of the activations, any of the pain points that would come from this character. Such strong neutral play.
You know what's funny? I think that's actually quite smart of Marv to go into the critical art despite the V-reversal being there. Like there was a little bit of time left after that V-reversal had happened, like
just
10 seconds. Yeah, so if you were to think about it, like if say he didn't go for critical art, if Orange Man had a time to burst into V-trigger, he would be forced in so many occasions to just hold block and guess for throw.
That's right.
Right? There's been so many instances where Orange Man has done a successful tick throw off of V-trigger. Marv didn't even want to be put in that situation if he loses his turn. So I think it was extremely smart for him to be going to the next step. He's like, all right, I'm going to spend this critical art and force this V-reversal because if he doesn't, he will die from chip. Right. But at the same time, it's like now he has to really force his way to get me now. Like his tick throws aren't going to be as potent if he's not in V-trigger. So I thought that was extremely smart to force that checkmate scenario for Marv in more ways than one, by the way. And
you also got to look at how the fact that like Senchu doesn't have like a big comeback factor or a quote-unquote skip neutral besides the EX run in Young, and he was looking for that option immediately. As soon as he saw the flash, he mashed the button, caught him coming in.
Smart.
That was so smart. And also the way that he avoided a lot of the V-trigger situations in general. He had got so many times, had been controlled by Orange Man, and he either neutral jump or down back for down black.
Actually. Yeah,
exactly.
He did that
Clip
once.
that. So that's why he's moving on to fight Sabo a little bit later on. But now we're going to have Joe Umi Rogan versus Incendium's Bells on Fire. Oh my God. I love this dude Fire. He's such a great person when you meet him, face to face. But him as a player, bro.
I like it.
Back heavy kick as an anti-air. He can DP with the Ryu, right?
Yeah.
But he don't choose to. He just chooses to back heavy kick or do anything different. He's a troll, but it puts you off your game. And he's such a strong player with that coupled together. If you're not ready for him, he will run right through you.
This is one of the matches I was looking forward to, right? It's the Battle of Toronto. It's Joe Umi Rogan versus Dells on Fire. I want to know if Umi Rogan is going to go for Luke or Akuma. What had happened?
It's Marvin time. Are y'all serious? Get that out of here. Tango, get out of here.
I gotta go. I
I
gotta
miss
go.
that Marvin.
I gotta take this call. St. Cola. Capcom's calling.
Yeah, I gotta go too.
go.
I gotta get out of here. Y'all different.
Yeah, that's actually quite the statement. Y'all different indeed. But as we were saying, right, Joe Ume Rogan has made his transition into Luke a couple of times. We've seen it over on the big stage at Combo Breaker.
That's true.
There's just something that's said when it comes to the confidence of you playing a character for so long and committing, right? And then hopping over to somebody like extremely strong, like Luke.
Right.
Very much so, a very, very strong character within the top 3 discussion, hands down.
Of course.
But it doesn't amount to anything if you hadn't had the same experience in the matchups as you do with your prior main, excuse me.
Well, let's see what our boy Fire's got to say about his opponent's play right now. Since it's a fellow Canadian, I'm stocking up on Timbits. Joe is a strong opponent, and it should be a lot of fun. I'm telling you, he's so nice. He's a nice person. He'll shake your hand, give you a hug, everything, give the shirt off his back. When it comes to the match, he's a monster.
I think that's
Don't let him fool you.
I think it's just the Canadian way, man. They are mad nice out there, eh?
Yeah, Brutus, yeah.
I haven't heard Brutus say a once
Really?
at the end of any of his sentences. I haven't heard any of the Canadians really be Canadian in the States. I have not heard Bud. I have not heard A at the end of the sentence.
Stuff?
None of it. You guys are masking yourself. Be proud. Be proud of your Canadian heritage.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what though. Joe Ume Rogan, I would love to see the Akuma. Del's on fire. I want to see what his Ryu has for pretty much the rest of his opponents. I mean, Ryu, I feel like should be out there a little bit more.
Yeah.
This man got a lot of buffs.
He got a lot of buffs.
He got a lot of buffs. He's continuing on to Street Fighter 6. This guy's gonna be sick. I'm telling you, man. Ryu is one that I love. I love watching. There's a lot of struggle too in prior seasons, but he's looking super good right now.
That's what we're gonna see right there from Fire. The Ryu pick, the classic skin that he always has on him, the Halloween edition, and we do see the Akuma pick, the tried and true to get through to you. Let's see if it even happens, man. Joe Ume Rogan. I like him to stick it out with this character all the way.
And I love that. One of the biggest buffs too, being able to catch a crouching character with a Tatsu. That is,
so good.
I don't even know the last time you even had that in any iteration of Street Fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like that's pretty good.
Does it again. Twice as nice, baby. Walks up with a throw.
Yeah, I can't believe he's getting away with a lot of these forward fierces against Ume Rogan. It's very hard to get consistently, I feel like. And what's really tough, man, Akuma doesn't have a consistent way of getting these side switches anymore. He's forced to spend the damage with the trigger, which is a big detriment. But again, Joe Ume Rogan still happens to find his way to push Fire into the corner. That's meaty enough.
Careful now. One more touch.
I'm very surprised. Okay, hold on.
Raw DP.
And I like that. I
Yeah.
like that a lot. If you don't have the meaties ready, that uppercut is going to be more than enough to falsify your pressure, really. If you're not ready with the meaty, you're going to get smoked. I do it all the time on CFN. I do it all the time on CFN.
Why would you do that?
I take so many turns with people that don't do meaties properly by doing uppercut. And Joe Ume Rogan doing the same thing. I like that.
I like that read. Now a lot more stable in this match. Again, the footwork piece, he's walk back in that range.
My
into
Lord.
the super to get the lead. That's a big one to
He's
get it done.
bleeding. Look at the damage. Look at the damage.
It's the activation though from Joe Ume Rogan. Backdash, good read, but still caught in the corner.
Oh, he's still going to get hit.
Yes, sir. I like that conversion, Joe. Ready with it and the throw.
Oh, that could have
Cross
been
into
more
the
than
super.
enough.
Joe, you so sick.
Ume Rogan. Actually a beast. That is a very convincing 2 rounds. I gotta say, that initial burst with the critical art didn't lead to enough in terms of intimidation, right? Joe Ume Rogan, he might have seen the green light. He was like, you know, you don't have a lot of meter left.
Yeah.
I think I have found a way against your neutral. You sure have hit me with a couple of forward fierces.
Yeah, it hurts.
But I think I could outmaneuver you in neutral.
And he did so. That corner pressure was super scary too. We saw the cross-ups and the meter usage. And Joe, I mean, if you playing this character for this long, you understand what you signed up for.
Boom,
you don't
there
have
it
no
is.
help. Yeah. Finally acclimating to the 4 fears. Forced the V shift.
No, he got himself into position to whip punish a standing medium punch, and that's mad difficult actually. To do it with a heavy punch is pretty good.
Joe with the fireballs, close range with
Uppercut.
it. Walks in.
No
That
good.
confidence. That's what I can see from Joe.
Absolutely no. Okay, I like that. Again, Del's on fire. Very much so. Going with the 4 fierces a lot, but Joe Ume Rogan is in 2 steps ahead. Planning his game plan around that norm though. Donkey kick raw!
It's raw. Joe clean the held. False fireball. That's not that bad. He still has positioning. He's still listening. He's still looking fantastic.
That
but
was actually so sick.
the walk forward to make the fireball with.
No, that was roundhouse. The roundhouse pushed him forward.
You're right.
Oh, he can't uppercut because of the fact that it's trigger and still the overhead to check the low, the movement immediately after from Del's on fire. A lot of smart movement in that last sequence. Cross-cut DPE.
He's there. Trouble with the medium kick. Off the low this time. The backdash, yeah, he's did one too many times for defense. He start rotating those options a little bit better.
He tried the walk under, but the demon flip into the sweep. He's just letting it go. Nice call out from Umarogan, getting that stun as well. It's going to be throw territory, and he knew it. Del's on fire, definitely knew it, but it was just a little bit of a shakedown, right? Umarogan back and forth, just one lap, enough to shake Del's on fire into not pressing the button. Very smart decision making in split-second time. Really.
Yeah, Steven Paul puts him down on the ground. They're walking through. Joe just walking in confident, calmly. The parry, that's not a problem. He still walks into that distance. The crouch kick, spin, kick. Toss him, I should say. The stun. Oh, the finesse. No. Let's put this man to rest. The fire is snuffed out.
Do it again. Yeah, he hits fireball. Cook him up a little bit. We saw the glimpses of drive parry coming in from Del's on fire, but he got cooked up either way. Joel Umarogan spending 2 bars, getting the stun, and ultimately getting himself a seat into round 2 of losers.
Joe, when he is on fire, he is so hard to stop. You saw him round start with that last round, walk in with the lights, with just the fullest of confidence, and that's a difficult thing to do because we've seen Ryu pump out the damage. Leave him 1 bar, and how scary it is for a character that is Akuma has no health at all, but that's the confidence that you want to see. This is the character I wanted to see him use throughout the top 16, all the way, maybe top 8.
I would love to see that, to be honest with you, from Joe Rogan's behalf. I think his Akuma is just fine. I don't see any other matchups where he would actually have to pull out Luke, really. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll take a look at the bracket later. But either way, that instance right there,
you're right.
Delzon actually was trying to cover the anti-air from that timing and that distance against Joe. And it was just a very fortunate circumstance that the fireball was the one to move him forward under it. So that was really nice. But Joel Umarogan doesn't give a damn about your spacing, doesn't give a damn about your luck, because he's playing nice and sturdy. He's going to be playing off against Senchu, which is Akira or Karin, right? Senchu actually put out the Akira. I don't think we would see... Actually, no, both characters, Luke and Akuma, would do just fine for that matchup specifically. So it's still going to be ambiguous. Yeah. Either way, what's not ambiguous is the total amount of wins. Again, 2-0 all the way through in round 1, and it came from the left side, the player 1 side. Jesus. But now it is what it is. Round 2, the battle of, I guess, the Midwest. This one is a big highlight. Bradford, Stack Bradford versus Rob TV. The last time I saw these dudes play was at a Red Bull event where Stack had pulled out the measuring tape, and it wasn't in the style that Tokido did it. He wanted to make sure his legs were level with the stream station, but Rob TV wasn't having any of it. This is the actual timeline where Rob TV was really starting to get a lot of his wins and a lot of his momentum, and now it's going to be coming in full circle. We're going to see how this plays out between the two. Stack Bradford versus Rob TV, very much so well versed against each other. So I want to see how it plays out. I'm very excited for this matchup specifically.
I'm very, very excited because I know that Stack, if he wins this, will talk to Rob and say, put me on the list of best Akumas. Put me on the list. Y'all remember that list that happened a couple months ago? Yeah. The list that Rob TV had? Stack wasn't on there, but I think the way that he has been working lately, come on now, Rob. Come on now. You can't ignore this top 16 spot.
You can't.
You can't. I can't do it.
The only way he can is if he manages to put Stack Bradford in a body bag. That's literally the only reason. True. If Rob TV takes down Stack, then he's not gonna believe him.
That's true.
Because almost doesn't count.
Yeah.
In Street Fighter, that's just what it is. Almost doesn't count. So
we're
gonna see how this plays out. Again, 2 out of 3. This is tournament life on the line. Stack Bradford rocking it out with Akuma, his tried and true. But he's been on a very solid tirade up until facing off against Chakotay. He's brushed it off mentally. He actually kept it very close. That was the only game I feel like thus far that has gone 2-1 in all of our matches.
Right.
So again, Stack Bradford going up against one of his demons, and I'm not talking about Akuma. It's going to be Rob TV with Big Nooch Karen.
Let's see the run back. I mean, I feel like they're 1-1 in terms that we have seen at least recently. Okay. So let's see who's going to get it done.
I believe that because I can't recall their exact record right now. I'm only recalling things from like last couple of years, like
pre-COVID. Man, that was a fun tournament. Now we can see the run back years later. And this time, loser side, someone's going home. with a challenge on the dash, using the lights. Even Paul makes him hold the throw. Stack, stable with it, and the crosscut DP.
And I'm like this. Back it off, too. When he knows it's no longer his turn, he doesn't want to be within the territory of medium kicks. Roundhouse, sure, he'll take that. That's also still a risk Rob TV's willing to take. Like, the roundhouses have so much recovery. You kind of treat it like a fireball.
Exactly.
You can't jump in on all four. There's a lot of risks. Nope, no, sir. No
No
punish!
punish! Could have a lot more, Stack. When these things drop, you need every opportunity you can get against someone like Stack Bradford. Same on the side of Rob TV here. All these hits, man, do not let Akuma come back like that. The air-to-air right there.
Yeah, the target combo. No, sir. He can't stop that V-shift. I love that from Stack. Utilizing that V-break afterwards. He still has enough for one more gauge, but I think any sort of confirm from Stack or a solid punish is easily going to spell lights out for Rob TV.
I think these fireballs in close range.
That's totally fine right now. Oh my God. We were literally just talking about the medium range that Stack Bradford had been avoiding the entire time. Karen Kanzuki, one of the best off of single hit confirms. It just so happens to shut it down that way yet again. Rob TV keeping the big mooch alive in round one. That was explosive.
Cannot be lacking and slacking against someone like Rob TV. And now you've given him the momentum. Stack Bradford put in the corner. Oh, that's going to be a punish. He's going to go for the mid-screen thing right there. No side switch off to the X.
He can't. Yeah, you can't. I mean, like, again, Akuma has no chance of doing side switches anymore like that.
He's shifting the break. Get some distance with it.
And I love that. Tempting the button against Rob TV. That medium kick was definitely a sign. He's like, you know, I want to see if you're willing to be antsy. And this is, again, back to the phase where Stack wants to hover around roundhouse primarily. That could have been punishable. At least off of the medium kick, but still, I can't believe it. Yeah, and that's fine. Ooh, the extra center off the rip.
Oh. The XTV just left that rip. And thinking about I thought there was going to be a side switch because the no B skill too.
Oh my God.
Usually Stack Bradford has that. And so the match will find the shimmy. Yo, the spacing that he is playing at confidently.
Final round.
Right that close to mid-range where it was dangerous before. A lot more confident, a lot more of the fireballs too as well. If you can stay outside the distance between the crouching medium kick, throw some of the fireballs, and then walk in with the smart star style, he could make this difficult for Rob. But just a crush though that might interrupt that.
This is easily one of the more enjoyable matches right now. Just because of the pace that both players are playing at, they understand fully well what each character is capable of. And just the ranges that Stack Bradford has been playing at has been phenomenal. And Rob TV trying to overcome that hurdle is also what's making this mad entertaining. It is quite the dance between these two right now. Forward throw now. Rob TV just needs a single hit confirmed.
The XTP, puts him down on the ground. I love that option, deleting that demon flip off the table. Stack does have V-bar, but he's got to get those hits to add up.
And again, Stack Bradford now being presented with a problem. That problem is any sort of medium coming in from Karen. Activation had to do it. The V reversal pushing him back into the corner. What's going to be the approach? Has to spend a fireball. He's forcing Rob TV back. But that medium kick is going to spell danger. I like that. Yes, sir. The air fireball first. But it's not enough. It's not enough. You have to spend so many resources to get rid of the offensive pressure first and foremost. The repositioning, great. But now it's still the fact that you are one touch away from death.
One of the things that I would have loved to see why I thought I was going to see a side switch is the V skill 2 from Stack Bradford. Sometimes he utilizes that, and I think that's a decent trigger, or I think that's a decent V skill when she doesn't have V-bar. You know, you can stock up, get that V-bar with the quickness and things like that, maybe spend more of that V-bar and still have trigger later on, but Stack sticking with the 1-1. I don't know if he's going to be able to get it done because Rob is just ruling the neutral right here. Piece puts him in the corner closer and closer, running it raw. We've seen this before.
It's like, when do you ever really get to utilize V-Skill 1 against Karen? Like, are you gonna risk trying to parry a single hit against the monster?
I mean, V-Skill 2, V-Skill 2, V-Skill 2.
No, I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, I agree with your point. Is that I think, like, how often are you going to be using V-Skill 1 against a character that reaps so much reward off of single hit confirms?
Oh, you definitely right.
It's an extreme risk.
Maybe it's just like he wants that activation point, but that's a punish. You're absolutely right. Just no, I mean, maybe you want that activation point that's easy, but at this point, we haven't seen it come into play. Oh, in the distance that he's playing at, the space traps like that. About to be the stun and done.
There's the activation. He's going to go for a realignment. No, Rob TV actually halts that dream altogether. In he goes further on to the bracket, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be Rob TV moving up into top 8 against the world of the Midwest. Stack Bradford no longer in the running, but I'll tell you what, it's not for nothing. I think there was a lot of the strategy that he had in game 1, and it was playing off just well up until one mishap. He walked into the low forward range, man. It's tough, but that's just how it goes when it comes to playing against Karen.
And it's hard to play against someone like Rob TV once they get that momentum going and flowing. Once they understand how you want to play, they put the space traps that we saw at the end right like that, sending heavy kick, walk back with the medium, got the finish. It's just hard to stop someone like Rob TV as he moves on to top 8 tomorrow. First person solidified, our loser side of top 8. But shouts again to Stack Bradford and Stream Team Battle. Make sure y'all check that out on his Twitch. Make sure y'all tune in whenever he's got it. It's a fantastic show.
Yeah, a really valiant effort coming in from Stack Bradford, right? He had a pretty rough shot in Combo Breaker. He was a little down, but again, he had a phenomenal run on the way to top 16. I was watching it alongside Just the Kid. They were all streaming their runs. And again, that is something that needs to be highlighted with the Midwest. Again, there's a lot of emphasis that goes into the Midwest with Rob TV and Brian F kind of leading the pack. I would say more Rob TV more so than Brian F.
Yeah.
Brian F is definitely a part of that all too, but
Did y'all have to do this?
Danny Boy PC 1984. Stack gonna ban Rob from his channel after this loss.
And you're banned.
And you're banned. It is what it is. It is what it is. But I mean, like, you don't have to play him anymore in Street Fighter V. Instead, you can play him over at Street Fighter Duel. We've been talking about this game a lot. I mean, looking forward to the release, to be honest with you. The Capcom authorized mobile game Street Fighter Duel is now available for download in China, with a global version coming out soon. The epic legend is reborn on mobile. Download Street Fighter Duel now, and let's fight for each other and join the journey with millions of players to become the best fighter. And as we get furthermore into the tournament, we're still looking for that best fighter in the Midwest.
That's correct. And the winner of the Midbest tournament will unlock the tracksuits. As you see right here on the screen, we already have Dalsim unlocked. We see more in store. So if you're hoping for your favorite character to be unlocked, make sure you root for them. There's 45 characters and not enough slots. So let's get those tracksuits unlocked, and we'll see who's going to take that in the end of the day. Already, we have seen some fantastic action. We've seen some big upsets. Already, we've seen a lot of character diversity, a lot of variety, and we're still not done yet. We still have 3 more matches for just today, and then tomorrow more play. Oh my God.
He's out of breath. Let me do it for you guys. 3 matches left to go for the loser side. You do not want to miss it. When we return, we have more of that action from the Midwest coming right at you.
Time to fight, time to fight. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand after defeat. So fight, time to fight. Glory waits for those who fight. We unite, we are street fighters.
Go too far. Please forgive me.
My name is Seth. Bow down for my cycle. It's time for trap. Show me everything. Download.
This will do.
You can't escape!
Oh yeah, you know I'm ready. Trying to read each other here? At this range, many attacks can connect if you stick something out. The neutral game is very important. Hit them with a stopping block.
More fuel for the fire! Cook them up! Breaking on them to lay down some damage without giving up ground! Drops them! Perfect parries! They got a feast on this chance! What now? They think this time to bust this out? Perfect damage calculation! No doubt about it! They are done!
いってみましょう。地上技で差し合う距離、リーチの差を生かすか、それを手玉に取るか。よく見ていた。さあ飛びはしっかりジャストで受け止めていく。体力はわずか、ゲージ差はある。ここはどう出る。インパクトは受け止めた。主導権の奪い合い、どちらが仕掛けるか。受け止めている。
Nothing stops this train! Ooh, the drive impact hits for a punish! Player 1 can't win this without pulling the trigger! Noticeable life lead!
受け止めながらここは出し惜しみはなし。出血大サービスだ。ダメージ計算、ゲージ管理バッチリ。
It's do or die time in this part of the bracket. It is indeed the CPT Midwest qualifiers with tournament life on the line. My name is Vicious, back at it again with my man St. Cola to represent the mid-best, and I do believe that in heart. Again, these guys have been putting on a solid show, a solid effort throughout the entirety of this tournament. We've seen a lot of these players broadcast their runs up until this top 16, and man, it's been non-stop. In fact, it's been a lot of clean sweeps going into the bracket. Can we take a look at that bracket, by the way? I would love to see what some of the people might have missed if they're just tuning in, because there's a lot of dead bodies down below. Look at that, 2 zeros all across, and then it even stemmed into round 2. Rob TV had just finished off Stack Bradford before we went off to the break. But look at who we have left over for round 2.
The surprise dark horse Kaiser going up against Justikid. Now, again, saying Justikid in losers is different than what I thought when I woke up. And then later on, we're going to have Sabo versus Marv. And then lastly, Senchu versus Jolie Rogan. But back to Justikid being in losers, seeing him fall to Sabo, I feel like might have been a little bit humbling, just kind of humbling experience. And speaking of Sabo, we're going to have to bring him up to the forefront right now. Sabo, the one who humbled Justikid, who was like, listen, you've been nice with it, but I'm nice too. And he's coming through with that Mika. And he's going to have to fight Marv, which is going to be the Mika versus Karen pick. And how do you feel about that match? I feel like Karen probably does pretty well probably this season, but how do you feel personally?
I think Karen does a fantastic job of controlling that neutral. I think there's a lot of activity that Karen can throw out there to stop multiple approaches against Mika, because I've played this matchup a good amount. So from based off of personal experiences, one of the biggest things I fear the most, that most players fear the most when playing against Mika, is the drop kick. Karen doesn't have to take that big of a risk to stop it, even if it's baited. You can still throw out standing light kick because it's pretty active enough, and it has a hitbox that can deter the drop kick pretty significantly. So I think being able to react to that has been pretty effective for Karen players. Throwing out a lot of her normals that are just extremely active in the mid-range zone, like medium punch, can be pretty good. Preemptively, so long as you're not like super whiffing it, that's really bad. Especially in this matchup. So in totality, I say Karen can still fight it well, but our Mika has a better time managing her normals against Karen in this specific patch because of the fact that Karen's mediums are now highly vulnerable.
That's true. Again, with the crouch immunity kick being special cancelable will definitely help out in those matches. So if those things are going to be whiffed, they're going to get hit. So Marv is going to have to be super stable with it and not let that happen. We've seen Sabo, what he does to people, he puts them in the corner and he lulls them in a false sense of security. And we've seen him double dash up for the EX command grab when he wants to play neutral. So Marv has to be able to control the chaos in this neutral that Sabo wants to do.
And, I'm really curious to see how that's going to play out because Sabo wasn't one to get super antsy with, like, double dashes. But at the same time, maybe I'm wrong because Rocky did a fantastic job of deterring any sort of advances. It's going to be a whole different story. Maybe Sabo can instill a little bit of fear against Marv, but to be honest, it's going to be hard to tell. Marv did a pretty solid job against Orange Man Zeku. I don't think he's going to let Sabo get in for free in neutral. I would love to see how it's going to play out, to be honest. I don't even know if it's going to be Karen. I think his Akira did just fine. I think Akira has very similar normals as well with the mediums, and it's going to be the Akira pick. I'd love to see this, actually. This is one of the matchups I do enjoy watching for the most part because I want to see what Mika has in store this particular patch to get past Akira's normals.
And, no offense to Orange Man, but I definitely see a lot of normals getting whipped, heavy kick, forward fears, things like that from Marv. I'm curious to see if Sabo's going to be ready and steady with the crouch immunity kick confirms. But Marv playing at this area with the crouching medium punch to let him stay in that distance. There's the crush we were talking about.
He tried to contest the normal. He was successful the first time, just not the second one. Word?
He should.
I like that.
He's out of there.
Ready to go.
Stop throw. Are you going to do the elbow? No, he's not going to be in hot pursuit. Okay, I like that. That's going to be fun. I thought he would do like some sort of a meaty elbow, like maybe, probably, but I don't even think that's enough. Crush counter, no activation. I like that. Safe jump setup. No, it was a fake setup. That wasn't a safe jump setup at all. That uppercut shouldn't have worked.
Can't believe it's not a setup.
Wait, unless Sabo had, I don't know. I couldn't tell. Unless Sabo had just held forward after.
Here we go. Coming to the approach. EX Brimstone puts him down to the ground.
Do it
Dash
again.
in. Gets the win. Marv getting caught lacking a bit.
I like that from Sabo. Again, stealing turns back after the command grab. Actually, no, he was already plus no matter what because of EX Brimstone. He was able to get Oki. It was just a guessing game against Marv, so my mistake. I love that.
Marv rotates the defensive options with V-Shift and EXDP and things like that on the wake up. Can't let this stuff run for free. There's the medium. Gets the full conversion into the EX elbow, puts him in the corner. And again, those medium punch buttons are so much better this season because on block, you're left closer. You gotta find a finish. Once that last hit with a jab, a dab will do ya.
Oh my god, caught him airborne. Marv tried to use an escape option with a jump, but no sir. Sabo now in control. Watch out for the Brimstone. He was willing to sit it out.
Yeah. That's TP. Good range, here's the activation.
Oh, word?
Sabo just waits. So tense. Non-committal button. I was just about to say, from Marv's play, don't do anything super risky. Don't get crush counter or medium with punishment like that. Marv.
Yeah. We talked about one of the biggest threats that Mika has when it comes to poking. It is indeed that drop kick. Man, a little overzealous. If you bait it correctly, you will be benefiting. You'll reap the rewards, essentially.
This corner pressure, the splash.
Oh, what a call out from Marv.
Hold north, you don't go south. Now taking the skies, drops him down with the V skill and the throw.
Elbow? No, okay. I'm just such an aggressive Akira player, I guess. All right, activation from the elbow, keeping himself plus a bunch. He gets a full conversion. You could get stunned. Yes, sir. It's not going to be off the scaling. Oh, how many fireballs? Dear God. Oh, he wanted to get a setup off a quick rise. You're actually going to get got. You actually got got. Are you dead? Are you actually
There's
dead?
no way. There's just no way. There's no way.
Okay, I was going to say, I'm like, am I off?
If he had stuck with the V skill, but if he
gotta-
would have done so, it would have been over. Oh! From the sky, no surprise.
I wonder if he could have gone into roundhouse DP, canceled into uppercut, or sorry, canceled into critical art. Because roundhouse DP moves Akira forward quite a bit.
Oh.
But he went for crouch jab instead. You definitely could have chipped against Mika in that scenario. I don't know.
No,
Too
take
far?
some time. He should think about that. We can go right back to the next match.
Too far?
That might have been too far. I'll look back at that. We'll look at the replay a little later on. But Sabo getting the first one done. Try to anti-air. Too far in the distance. You see Marcus actually looking to bait that out.
I love the confirms too. And the defense still. But man, what are you going to do? You have all the defense in the world, but you get Brimstone, right?
Can't block a command grab.
Oh my God. He doesn't believe in your defense.
He
really doesn't believe in defense.
One more touch and
He
there it
does
is.
not.
And that's one hit to get it done. Off the backboard.
It's just how it goes, man. He's a non-believer. What's a king to a god? But what's a god to a non-believer? I'm telling you, man. Sabo is trying to test Marv's defense. He thinks it's not there.
It's not there. You gotta prove to him. Marv gotta rotate those offensive options. You have so much.
Again.
Oh my God, Sabo.
Do it again. What's he gonna do about it? What is it?
He'll dash check. He'll dash check.
Absolutely, he'll dash check.
Too quick with it. Oh, the crush. All his reactions to you shift away from danger. You're a stranger. Get away from me. Down to the ground you go. And Marv will have that V-bar.
Oh, the whip punch could have been there against the crouching heavy punch. It could have been an activation route. You got to look for the activation. Marv doesn't care.
He doesn't care. So going in, yeah, he backs off a bit. He knows that it's going to come through at some point, but the splash denied. Marv with the DP. And Sabo, if that would have been able to set things off, but he was at that right distance, get the DP angle. Marv saving up set point for a little bit longer.
Marv is making me want to play Akira again. This guy
Shoot, so fun.
This guy is good, yo. Luka Doncic, man.
But it's Sabo better. We'll have to see.
We'll see. I mean, he's in the lead looking at tournament point, or at least match point, excuse me, to eliminate Marv. 2, 3. Watch out for the brimstone.
He told him. You told him.
He's going to do it again. Dash up. Oh, okay, I like it. The splash, same side.
He wants it. You know he wants it.
That's a classic. That is an absolute classic, and I'll tell you what, man, Sabo's done that time and time again. You could see it in the way he played out. There was so much confidence in that rainbow swing, enough to get him the 2-0 confident victory against Marv. That is going to be him, Sabo, moving into top 8. Let's go. I like that. Armika player getting in there.
I really like the fact that Sabo did not take off his game plan. Even when his dashes were checked, he didn't stop that from, stop him from coming in to get that win. Double dash up, gets checked with a couple lights and things like that. He's back in again. And we also saw his corner pressure being so scary that Marv, I didn't see a rotation of those offensive options too often. We saw some of the V-ships come through. We used to see a lot of bust outs, so EXDP or the 3 frames to check some of these approaches. And Sabo just looked like he was running rampant.
It was kind of funny. We see the Tale of Two Cities when it comes to Armika coming in from Sabo and someone like El Chocote, right? You see like mixed city primarily from El Chocote, but Sabo, he's chilling. He's in the suburbs. It's a nice little respectable neighborhood. He's been checking it the right way. I feel like he'll get a command grab every so often. They'll have a little block party, right? But then afterwards he'll check with normals. So I get it. Tale of Two Cities indeed. But Sabo again making his way into top 8. That's 2 Mikas.
That's 2 Mikas
into top 8. That's going to drive everybody wild. But I'll tell you what, you do see a little gap there in round 2. Kaiser and Just a Kid, we had to move on forward into Sabo and Marv. We had to wait and get themselves acclimated. I do believe we're going to get that matchup, if I'm not mistaken, unless production tells me otherwise. If we don't get Kaiser versus Just a Kid, it's definitely going to be Senchu versus Joe Umiroge. There's going to be a lot to talk about for these 2 matches in general. Just a Kid, okay, perfect. We actually do have them up on deck. Just a Kid, the hero of the Midwest. Just a king is how I'd like to phrase it. And what's really funny, he actually went to go celebrate his win the next day with West Coast. I'm not gonna lie. I was there. I was
traitor.
There. You know what's funny? It was actually kind of awkward because I went with Midwest to go eat for lunch, like after top 8 was done, and then I see SoCal taking Just a Kid out to lunch as well. And I'm like, what just happened? Like, traders on both sides.
Traders on both sides.
And I get it.
Yeah. I mean, the 5v5, there's rivalry, but there's still friendship right after, outside the sticks, things like that. And we're all just trying to get better. And that rivalry pushes us all forward. Just a Kid has been really grinding, pushing himself in this game. We see it a lot on his Twitch and things like that. We see him working at Texas Showdown, like I said before, second, only losing to Punk. He did pretty decently at that 5v5, I might say. Maybe not the results that he wanted in a combo breaker, but out here, he is a loser side.
True.
And he's got to make the run back out here and see if he can get in that top spot. Kaiser stands in his way, and that's a person that sent Brian F down, GLB down. So, no small feat out here to defeat this dude.
I agree. I think I've seen Kaiser a good amount, right? I think Kaiser definitely not going to be like the dark horse in this instance. I think it's going to be a battle of veterans. One of the things that's the outlier in this particular matchup is the Luke pick, right? Kaiser looked a little shook against the Fong matchup, but I would love to attribute that to like his downfall to the unfamiliarity in the Fong matchup.
Right.
I think that's primarily it. I think other than that, he has the Luke basic strategy down. He has the advanced setups down. Not setups, but the advanced strategy down as well. Iron Mike TPG, well, there goes all my points. And I agree. I honestly thought Akira would have had a great time against Mika, but Sabo just had his strategy going. He was able to get his game plan going against Marv more often than not because of one factor, and it's the grabs. Like, Marv had too much respect, I feel like.
My man was respecting everything he said. He was like, yeah, sure. But in this situation, this match, I would honestly, if I had to, back away a bit, not knowing Just a Kid, would have to put my points on Just a Kid in general because he has played so much of this match. He has fought Chris CCH right after the 5v5. He actually played Chris CCH in another money match.
Yes.
He lost. But
he did.
Yeah, he did lose.
It was a different circumstance, I feel like. But you had experience against one of the best Lukes in the country.
Yes.
Oh, that's very interesting. Just the Kid actually had an opportunity to go for the target combo because of the fact that Luke was crouching, but he didn't have any of his kicks stored, so I get that. He couldn't do it.
He gets right through. Just Kid so good at, I want to say preactively and reacting to it at the same time. He gets around the corner, EX activation, plus flames dash in, tag from Just a Kid. Doesn't want no back throw situation. And the V reversal too.
So smart.
Controlling. Kaiser.
I think that's super smart. Like not having to afford any sort of chip damage against that the trigger from Luke. EX rocket up or get off of me. Back throw down.
He does have
that might have worked out. That roundhouse from that range.
EX.
It doesn't matter. And it's one of those things that people need to be aware of. Jury can blow up fireballs. 100%. That was the West Coast downfall, right? Jury has a great time getting past fireballs if she has meter or she calls it out correctly.
Yeah. The fact is, you have to really play a better fireball game than what you're maybe used to. And playing Luke, it's not a typical fireball game. It's very fast with it, so you have to be on point. And Just a Kid's on point with his back throw and the pressure. Kaiser is so little lost, and that's punishable. Studs rising.
Oh my God, you're charging up a kick right in front of him. Kaiser wasn't ready for it.
Confidence. You got to stop those.
Can't hit the forward fist, not return anymore. Yeah, full conversion. He went for the uppercut ender, and he gets Oki immediately. He didn't want to push towards the corner with meter because he was going to get it either way. Activation now from Kaiser. Jump back situation from Just a Kid. He understood. He saw his gap. Knew exactly what to do to reset. Oh, that's not a fireball, young man.
He was speed shifted said. So not a lot of damage done to Just a Kid just yet. EX trying to call it out. Put the fade away.
It's not your turn afterwards. But you know what's actually funny? Kaiser thought 2 steps ahead because that axe kick could have gone. It is -2. So you could have eaten the EX uppercut afterwards, which is something that David does, that Just a Kid does pretty often. So Kaiser is like, yeah, I've been a victim to this before. I'm going to let it rock.
Yeah. I'm going to back up a bit, yeah. But that's the old Just a Kid. This is Just a King.
Bro, he's going to do it again.
Yeah, he's going to do it again.
Like that's just the beginning.
Yeah, he's just the beginning.
It's just the beginning, dude. I'm telling you. That's just a setup for worse things to come. Now, Just a Kid's in your head, man. Yeah. That's one pair of sunglasses on. He's going to put the rest of them on eventually.
Yeah, just stack them up. He's about to stack up these wins and try to get through the top 8 spot. And he's doing a fantastic job as you see the matchup knowledge and also where to space and place himself to stay away from the fireballs. Some of them predictively, but he's just doing a good job of denying a lot of the strong tools of Luke. All the cool things that you see about Luke, all the things that people complain about on Twitter, you're not seeing it here. And we're already seeing the one score on the side of Just a Kid. I wonder if Kaiser switches to maybe a character that he's more familiar with. He does play Ryu as well, and one that he's had more time with. I wonder if that might be the run, and that's how he's going to try to get it done. Yeah, run or die. This character.
The delinquent Ryu is what
delinquent
it is.
Ryu.
I like that.
Doesn't go to class.
Never.
Turns homework.
He's all about the fight. He's not trying to learn biology. Come on now.
So we're bust ass.
What do you mean? And this is what I like to see, right? You're forcing Just a Kid to play around the fireball game. That is the strategy you want to go to as Kaiser. Oh my lordy. No!
That's on the distance, and you allow Just a Kid to get out?
The whiff. My man's whiffed an important stun opportunity. Just a Kid is going to take full advantage of that. Feng Shui engaged. Okay, I like that. Jump top to get out. Caught him mid-air as well.
Good stuff from Kaiser. Back in the corner. This time, got to get it done. Activation. Go for the back throw. Not enough to finish it, though. Just a Kid with the EX running a little bit more of that bar.
Oh, what is happening? That's Season 1. That's Season 1 Jury, yo. You're actually in throw territory.
EX again for the win. How many times, bitches?
Chat.
How many times?
Chat, this is Season 1 Jury. I'm just going to tell you now, chat.
This ain't new. This was in the patch notes.
That's Season 1 Jury, yo. I'm telling you. I'm not going to lie to you. I won't lie to you.
I do feel like Kaiser maybe is really comfortable with the fireballs because they have been fast. They're faster this season, so I get it. But someone like Jury's going to react. You know, they have the EX fire or EX flip kick to get through.
I wonder how far you have to be or how close you have to be for low forward fierce fireball to be a key block strike. I really want to see that. Side switch, that's the roundhouse Tatsu. 100%. Dash up, Oki, going for the knockdown instead. Kaiser refusing to get up, and I like that. But just a kid, there's his activation off the trigger. Or excuse me, activation off the target combo on the trigger.
So get the air-to-air, but still it's a fireball for the lockdown. He's fireball from Kaiser trying to get something going for him, but Just a Kid just a pester with the medium kick. He's in though. 3-piece in the Tatsu. The flip out again from Just a Kid.
No, okay. I was going to say, he's going to utilize that fireball for the feng shui. Just a little bit of that meter left to move forward, but Kaiser was rolling away with it. Oh, that's important. No overhead. Yep, I was going to say, Kaiser was peppering those crouching lights.
It's about to be good night. Just a Kid used one touch. Oh, be reversal for the distance.
Could have grabbed it, I think.
Go with the fireball for that space trap. Almost ran into the medium kick.
Nicely done.
There we go. He saw the medium kick come through so many times. At that distance, uses the fireball to peck away safely. Safe with that set point. No more 2-0s. Is it possible that Kaiser puts one on the board with the 3-pick?
Checking the dash perfectly. Just a Kid. This is going to be huge. Counter hit conversion. Medium punch into the counter hit. Stand fierce. That is not the target combo. That is indeed the counter hit exclusive. Pump it up all the way.
What a post stun fun right there. EXDP again from Kaiser. He needs some space up in this place. It's gonna be hard for him to activate. He has to do it raw.
The win. Oh, he tried to get the V reversal too far out.
Just needs one touch. Non-committal button. That's all he needs. A crouching light kick.
Even medium kick at this distance. Trade off with the fireball. If you hear the fireball or see it, just press medium kick. Even if you're a little bit too far out, it's not too much. You have so much life to play with.
That's true.
And I love that from Just a Kid. That's the biggest thing I feel like that went against Kaiser, letting Just a Kid charge up the fireball. But at the same time, it's like, what can you do as Ryu? Are you going to throw a fireball when Just a Kid has full meter? You can't.
Right.
So that was Just a Kid pretty much increasing his odds of winning. As soon as that fireball was charged up, you saw his numbers go up from like what, 80% to like 99.99.
Yeah.
It's like watching the World Series of Poker. Like when you see like the turn card and whatever have in their hand, you just see that statistic, that number go up, that percentage. Yeah.
Makes that sound too. So Rob TV.
When you went from the World Series of Poker to Price is Right, I see what you mean.
Oh man, it's going to be a fantastic match tomorrow. Rob TV versus Just a Kid. Father versus son match coming up tomorrow. But we still have one more to solidify our full top spot. That's Senchu versus Joe Umi Rogan. And again, I'd love to see the Akuma pick from Joe ride or die with this character, because I feel like the solidity has come from, and not only recently in Combo Breaker and in these matches, but in NLBC, in Battle for the Bruce Lee, has come from the Akuma pick.
I agree. I think there's a lot of confidence that comes into it. This has been one of the underlying themes that we've been talking about when it comes to character familiarity. We just saw it between Kaiser and Just a Kid, right? Kaiser going to the Ryu pick instead of the Luke pick. That's going to be what's in play for Luke, right? Just the King, that's my streamer. Hey, you better sub to that, man, Doomer80.
Hit him with the sub.
You have to hit him with the sub now, man. If you're not subbed already, now you got to do that first and foremost. Then you got to gift subs. Then you got to sub for the future.
Yeah.
Right, I love that option, by the way. Being able to sub like 6 months in advance.
Oh, it's so great.
I do that to all the homies. Either way, Just a King making it into top 8, having to face off against leader of the mid best. That is Rob TV. Again, he was the one that had pretty much led the pack. Albeit,
as a captain.
Yeah, he was the captain. Still technically leading the pack. But it was indeed Just a King who would pretty much put the final nail in the coffin of West Coast. But let's talk about Joe versus Senchu, right?
Yeah.
Let's see if Joe is going to pick out the Akuma, or will it be the Luke? He has a pretty intimidating task against Senchu's Akira or Karen.
Either or. I'm really curious to see, because I know Joe's had a lot of practice against the Karen pick. I'm not sure how much practice he has had against the Akira pick, and I am curious to see that match, because we don't see much Akuma these seasons. Like, it's Stag Rapper, Joe, and a few other Kumas that are kind of lingering around. A lot of people have dropped the character, but again, the familiarity is such a strong thing in fighting. It's not just about picking the strongest option at the time. You can work with that option, but let's say your CPT is coming up in a couple months. Do you stick with an option that you are embedded in, that you have been practicing for with years and years, or you pick an option that you can get ready within a couple, 3 months or whatever? sometimes better to go with that one that you've had for a long time, even if it's a weaker pick with Akuma. And again, I think you should go with that option. I think Akuma still does fine in both those matchups. And that's what we're seeing right here for the last match of the day, Boomi Rogan versus Senchu.
This is a matchup that I'm actually kind of curious about. I want to know what Akira is going to do against the Fireball game against Akuma. I mean, you can't react and jump through it, sure, first and foremost. But I want to know what happens in the close to mid-range quarters. I want to see where the mediums lie for Joe Umirogen's character, because I've seen what Akira can do. Right now, Joe, he lets a lot of the medium kicks talk, but mostly he whip punishes with standing heavy punch as well, or even crouching, right? He does a little bit of a preemptiveness. And I like him utilizing that meter to do even flip slide to just get that side switch.
Even if it's not on hit, you just get out of that corner situation, and it's just helping you prevent the problems that come through. But here's the activation. And the pick up a little bit with the V skill.
And I love the side switch from Senchu. Oh, it actually hit! No! What happened?
I'm not sure why the pick didn't hit.
He was crouching too.
That must be wider. But Boomi Rogan finds the fireball.
Wow.
In the pickup.
That is a very unfortunate circumstance.
That could have been such a run.
Totally fine for Joe. Oh boy, no side switch, not possible except with the meter. You have to spend the meter. You can't do it off a V-skill anymore.
But Joe's probably spend that meter. I like that Joe's not predicated on just sending it for the super and saving it up. There's a lot more tools we have that EX bar going and flowing. Use the Katsu right after for some distance.
Man, those spin kicks are actually pretty brave. EX uppercut, even braver.
Side punish. Joe so firing back to the buttons and the fireballs. There's the activation.
Oh boy, that's going to be critical art, all because of the activation. Oh, he's not dead.
He fireballs a setup shot. Puts himself in the corner. I don't know if that's worth it, but the jump light gets him out of that situation. Boomi Rogan.
That was so smart.
That was very
That entire
smart.
sequence from Joe, he was just one touch away from getting that V-trigger. He's like, you know what? I'm going to force the agenda. I'm going to go ahead and use my V-skill 1. And I get that, right? You want to use... now I can kind of see where the benefits are from V-skill 1. Albeit it is very conditional.
Yeah, on activation.
Yeah, it's very specific, but, you know, I get it.
Yeah. I get that Boomi Rogan is on. Oh, no. Game point, but bad whip. Big punish right here from Senchu to put him in the corner. Like, see more of those heavy kick DPs. They see if they can come through against the fireball some of these ranges. Maybe it's not possible. We haven't seen Senchu do it.
No Oki after that. Now that's Senchu just going for the V-shift. He's still eating the air fireball, really? Force the block.
Joe back up against that medium kick. You use that as a whip punch against the heavy kick or the forward fears. Oof. We're going to put by. Then it's EX, elbow, takes him to the corner. And that medium once again. Yeah, switching up. He used to go for the throw after that kick. And now he's switching it up. Senchu hit him with the flip mode, staying off that set point.
And I love that sequence from Senchu. Really, just you were talking about the mixes, the options he has on offense. It's pretty on point against Joe. Oh, this is going to be huge. Side switch.
Call it right, but the backdoor on wake up is switching in the air fireball. Good call from Boomi Rogan.
It was actually a lot sharper this time around. Senchu tried to use something to get past the fireball, but it's just not the right angle. Boomi Rogan actually is a throwaway for stun. Senchu knew it. Back to back. Air throw.
Good awareness from Senchu. Now for the activation. My turn to play off the shimmy. That's a stimmy one. That's a lot of red.
He tried to get a throw bait yet again. Plus frames. Leading for the mix. He still has trigger after that. EX uppercut. Get out of here.
On his own EX.
Watch out for the overhead. The frames. What are you going to do about it?
He's so
fast. What a delay.
Wants to lock him down. The cross-gut DP this time. Can't come through for free. Not the same sequence. We talked about forcing the agenda. Not going to happen here. I rule the narrative of the neutral right now, brother. Senchu with the cross-up.
That was very impressive. To have the audacity to even go over the cross-up and the stability, I got to say. So there's two tails here, right?
Talk to me.
Joe with the audacity to go for the cross-up. He's like, yeah, I don't need this positioning right now. That's totally fine. But Senchu with the stability to still manage to get the execution. That was beautifully done.
We get a close game to close out the night, game to game.
Not this time. No cross-cut this time. Oh, he caught him crouching. You do get the extender. You do get crouching jab after that. And then the roundhouse uppercut extends even further to continue the combo. Very exclusive to the state of the character.
Just punish right here from Joe to get that V-bar built up. the V-Skill, I should say.
EX uppercut again. That could have been dead.
Falls to the fireballs. They're too strong. And the shimmy, the stun. Joe Umi Rogan again on set point.
I like that. I like that a lot from Joe Umi Rogan. Very aggressive, but Senchu, you know, a little bit more on the advantage for the meter at least. But Umi Rogan just walking it down against Senchu. Speaking of walking it down, past the fireballs.
Now walk him in the corner. Space trap. Joe.
Air throw.
Trying to fire back with the EXDP on that wake up, bro. You would have been dead, but you were close to it. But Joe puts it back. That goes proving to be a pain point for Senchu, though.
This is going to be pretty pivotal right now. Joe is just trying to utilize that dash, or at least catch Senchu slipping. You're actually dead. No. Okay.
It's a Kuma. It's a Kuma.
You're hella dead? You're hella dead.
It's a Kuma.
Okay, I was going to say, I'm like, Senchu could have gone into critical art, but he knows better than everybody here. That trigger, that V-skill, I should say, was going to be more than enough. You are a sneaky guy. That's like EX tackle. Why not bust out with it?
Exactly. They get
the
crush.
You get the skill after that. More fireballs. You do it again. Set up. Don't
That's
quit.
done.
Okay.
Oh, it's damn near done. Oh my God, Senchu.
You should be dead. You should be
He's
dead.
going to end it with a perfect KO, Senchu. Gucci with it. A 2-1 defeat to Joe Umi Rogan. Senchu moving on the bracket. A clinic. A clinic.
My man beasted it out, but it's no slouch to Joe Umi Rogan, though. I mean, like, there was a very significant round ender for him in the first round of game number 3. Like, there was a lot that he was doing with his walk speed, trying to outmaneuver Senchu, but there's so much stability in Senchu's play. Active defense, understanding where his hits will be, and reading the opponent's defense. He was doing a great job, man. He baited a lot of what Umi Rogan wanted to do, but not for nothing. Again, very much so down to the wire.
I mean, it really was, and I really like that Joe Umi Rogan, first of all, was being aggressive with the Kuma. I feel like you have to be that this season, but it is risky, and there's not always reward, and Senchu was stiffing those approaches up. We saw the cross cuts and things like that. It was a good shimmy situation right here, but it wasn't enough. Senchu was able to stay optimal, as we pointed out before, didn't spin the full bar, and that having that bar at the beginning of the round was the determiner to getting that perfect KO, the immediate EX elbow, putting Joe in the corner, making it feel unusual, and it's those moments that he was able to solidify and make Joe Umi Rogan break down. But again, not for nothing, I'm happy that Joe stuck with the Akuma. And I think he would have done a lot better with this character than he would have with Luke 100%.
I agree. I mean, like, I'm very much so confident in the way that Joe plays Akuma. It still could have gone either way. That was just a very perfect sequence, no pun intended, for Senchu in terms of like how you utilize the meter, opening up Joe's defense. It could have gone either way. There just wasn't enough in that round for it to really tell that story. But Senchu, I mean, 2-1, that's the second set we've had throughout the entirety of the Midwest that has gone down to the wire. And very, very much so happy to see another Akira player kind of moving on up into the world of top 8 for the Midwest. Again, there's been a lot of Street Fighter action going down in the top 16, but we have already established our top 8.
You know what? I'd like to establish a duel. I'd like the duel at some point in the future.
You're killing me, man.
Coming sometime in the future.
Sometime in the future,
there will be a duel. A Street Fighter duel. That's right. Street Fighter Duel will be coming sometime in the future. The Capcom authorized mobile game Street Fighter Duel is now available for download in China with a global version coming soon. This epic legend is reborn on mobile. Download Street Fighter Duel now and let's fight each other and join the journey with millions of players to become the best fighter.
And again, we're getting very, very close to that, right? With the conclusion of the Midwest being tomorrow for the top 8, it's still going to be something for the books when it comes to this Capcom Pro Tour. There's only one qualifying spot. In fact, we're going to see those qualifying spots being taken up for Japan coming up very, very soon. The registration closes June 6th. Well, the stream happens June 11th and the 12th, with the pre-show happening pretty much at midnight. I hope you guys are night owls. I definitely am, because I'm going to be joining each and every one of you to see who's going to be the best in Japan, or who's going to be the representative for Japan that weekend. Again, registration closes June 6th for all of the fans in Japan, and for everybody doing the restream over in Capcom Fighters. for the Japanese broadcast. We appreciate you first and foremost. We love watching the VODs over. I love watching the VODs and trying to see the energy as well. And you guys always deliver. So again, if you guys want to register, capcom.us/Japan. Actually, that's for all the info. That is for all the info. You can't register through that link, I don't believe. But again, you want to check that out. Let's take a look at what's to come as well with further events. Over in July, after the month of June, we do have CEO coming up as well.
That's right.
But over in July, the first week, we have South America West. That registration period is going to be happening towards the later end of June, as well as Asia Southeast, July 16th. You may be wondering as well, where is Central America East? Where is that happening? I'll tell you what, it's not going to fit in the graphic, but I'll tell you what's going to happen. Just to let you guys know, it was originally slated for the 23rd and 24th. It has actually been moved. Again, all the Central American East players, just letting you know, it has been moved to July 30th and 31st. Please be aware of that. Go to CapcomProTour.com for more information on that, on the scheduling. We just wanted to make sure that you guys are all aware. With that in mind, the Capcom Pro Tour does not stop. We have no breaks here up until this very moment, unfortunately. Top 16 has concluded, but don't go anywhere. We actually have a lot more to go through to talk about who's coming into top 8 after this break.
Time to fight, time to fight. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand have turned to defeat. So fight, time to fight. Glory waits for those who fight. We unite, we are street fighters.
we are back with the mid-best, and I keep saying mid-best because I mean it. CPT Top 16. We have solidified actually our top 8 spots on the dot, and tomorrow's going to be super sick with it. But today, we have some fantastic action and play. But before we get through all that, we got to run the introductions one more time to stay fine. My name is St. Cola. I'm joined with my boy Vicious, the voice of Street Fighter 6.
Come on, man. Come on, man. I'm really excited, though. I mean, looking at how this entire tournament played off, it was pretty aggressive, right? If you take a look at the bracket, just in case you missed it, there were a lot of donuts. And I don't mean from National Donut Day yesterday. I mean on the bracket, right? 2-0s all across the board, except for one moment where it was Kaiser versus Toplin. Now, that was a Luke versus Fong matchup. And coincidentally, I would love to say that this is where we kind of break down the top 16 from the winner's side. And I kind of want to talk about one of my bigger highlights from this entire set. I think the Stack Bradford versus Chakotay match was really well done. I think we got to see Chakotay really shine in his offensive game, and we got to see Stack Bradford not let the mental stack go against him. So we saw that rebuttal. But I will say, there was a lot to be said when it comes to the Fong play from Toplin. I think Toplin versus Kaiser was easily the match to be highlighted for the winners quarterfinals.
My opinion, I also think that we gotta give some credit out to Rocky, how he was playing. I was like, my man's super neutral based, but that wild every so often was super sick with it. How he was stopping a lot of Sabo's approach that was difficult. You saw in the loser side to deal with was really great, and that mix of like neutral and ridiculousness is what got him through. He's gonna have to fight Boomi tomorrow, and we have Toplin versus El Chakotay. Let's take a look at the loser side of things for the bracket of top 16. And man, oh man, were there some bangers. The rematch with Rob TV versus Batman. Once again, Rob TV, I don't know who that cat is. And then we had Just a Kid going against Lizardman. You better know
who he is, man. I mean, that's Hollywood.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Just a Kid versus Lizardman, which is a classic friendly battle right there. Rivalry, Just a Kid showing a lot of matchup knowledge against the V-Skill 2, Rashid. And then Mar versus Orange Man, which is a fantastic match of denying the V-trigger approach of Zeku. And then last but not least in that part was Joe Umi Rogan taking down Dells on Fire with a lot of that fantastic Akuma play that I love to see from that aggression that you have to have this season with that character.
In this one, it was a little tough. I think the matchup that got me involved with the most, despite them being a lot of 2-0s on the board, I would say Stack Bradford versus Rob TV. There was just so much familiarity between the two and the way that they played. It's not your traditional Karen versus Akuma match. There was just so much that Bradford was thinking about against Rob TV. And Rob TV, he was very reset heavy against Dat Vip. You could see his personality in his gameplay. You know, that's the kind of style Rob TV wants to play. He'll play resets, expose your defense, but it was a different Rob TV. It was the Capcom Cup caliber Rob TV that came to play against Stack Bradford. And I gotta say, despite the score not showing the entirety of it, Stack Bradford did a lot to give Rob TV a run for his money.
Absolutely. You know, Kaiser versus Just a Kid matchup was fantastic. Forcing Kaiser to go to the Ryu pick, which I would have loved to see at the beginning of things. I gotta give big credit to the Senchu versus Joe Umi Rogan. I know I'm skipping over Sabo versus Marv, which is fantastic. Sabo doing a lot of work and putting his game plan and not letting it be deterred after his dashes were being checked. But Senchu versus Joe Umi Rogan was one of those matches where you start to see the player acclimate immediately. Cool, you cross me up one round. Let's see what goes down the next one. Crosscut DP from Senchu, deleting some of these options off the table. And even when the options didn't work, he still had more in the toolkit. And you definitely saw it all come together in that last round with that perfect KO, all because of that meter not being spent, staying optimal, allowed him to get that EX in the corner situation and a perfect KO. It was so crisp.
No, absolutely. I think there's a lot of players that I'm looking forward to the most in this top 8. When we see the bracket actually finalized, let's take a look at who we have for our matchups. Boomi versus Rocky. That's going to be Zeku versus Ken. That is going to be a very explosive match, I think. Looking forward to that. Toplin versus Chakotay. Another one. Chakotay's one to have to get in, or going to want to get in. Toplin's going to try to find a way to be that deterrent. Down below, Senchu versus Sabo. I combined their names together. And then Just a Kid versus Rob TV. Damn, this is going to be an easy one. This is going to be an easy one to ask you. Which match, St. Cola, are you looking forward to the most?
Boomi versus Rocky. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay,
I'm with Rob TV versus Just a Kid. I'm trying to see what happens after that.
Yes.
Because for a lot of people, and for me personally, I think that the winner of that match determines the winner of this entire tournament. However, I say that with an asterisk because coming into this entirety of this top 16 all the way to top 8, I did not expect Brian F not to be in. I did not expect Just a Kid and Rob TV to be in losers already in top 8.
And to face each other.
Oh my God.
You're not wrong. To kind of supplement that, I think from the winner's side is what I'm going to pick. I think Toplin versus El Chicote is one game I'm looking forward to. One match I'm looking forward to the most. I'm a big fan of Tay, and now I'm actually a pretty big fan of Toplin. I mean, like, I'll be riding the coattails of Fong right now.
Yeah.
I have a lot of faith in this character this season. There's just been a lot being talked about. A lot of players coming out the woodwork now, seeing their hard work pay off. That's the matchup I'm looking forward to. In chat, I would love to, St. Cola and I would love to actually hear your thoughts as well on social media. It's going to be @_St. Cola, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
@ViciousFGC. Let us know what matches you're looking forward to tomorrow in the top 8, because it's going to be absolutely ridiculous. It's time for Midwest to finally shine. It is indeed mid-best, and without a doubt, these guys have been doing so much work. So much work.
Can y'all not? I'd like to see it too. Who's got Photoshop skills? One time for the one time. Hit us up on Twitter @our@, and let's see what it looks like. I think it looked beautiful on
Ripley.
you. I think it looked beautiful on you.
Pushing it, man. It's getting
I mean, Ball's beautiful, but I'd like to see it. I like to see Ball take too, but I also like to see this top 8 spot.
No, keep your hair. I've seen what you look like with it shaved off. Come on, man. It's beautiful.
This is you're right. You're right. You want like to see top 8, but y'all and I and he will all have to wait till tomorrow to catch that. People, it's been fantastic, but when we return tomorrow, top 8, mid-best coming at y'all. Until then, good night.